It's the greatest chase in history. 3 drivers and 1 race to decide it all.
Go out there and enjoy the day today, boys. It's going to be one of the best days of your lives right here.
Last week, it seemed to be Denny Hamlin's chase.
Denny Hamlin making a statement, going to the lead.
Until a critical decision destroyed his dominating performance.
Mike Ford told Denny Hamlin, we are 12 laps short on fuel.
I know that was ugly. Everybody made it on fuel, is that what you're telling me? That's something we've definitely got to work on.
High risk paid off for the 48 team.
Can Jimmy Johnson make it?
I'm going to start backing you off here, start saving me some gas.
Who gambled everything to continue its historic run.
Great job, everybody. Love it when a plan comes together.
Now, the chase ends at Homestead, where anything can happen. Will Denny Hamlin handle the pressure?
I'm so happy to put pressure on that 11 team.
With Jimmy Johnson in his mirror?
These guys better be on their toes.
Will the 4-time defending champion's unstoppable belief drive him to 5?
Gas it up, man. Let's go. Difference between trying and doing, baby. Let's do it.
Or will Kevin Harvick step up and steal the spotlight?
This is our time right here to make it happen.
3 drivers chase the cup in a final battle of will, searching for a defining moment, heading for an epic finish.
Big D, boys. We know what we got to do. Go get them.
An epic finish indeed. What will the headline be later tonight? That a mistake was made, costing one of the 3 a chance at the Cup, that they raced it out head-to-head into the final laps? Or the historic streak continued, or that historic streak snapped? Kevin Harvick, the Bakersfield, California native, who came to the top level of NASCAR racing when the late Dale Earnhardt was killed in a racing crash in 2001. Harvick was the man Richard Childress tabbed to replace Earnhardt. He could bring Childress back to the championship stage today. Jimmy Johnson, also a Southern Californian, came from racing dirt bikes in the desert to become one of the greatest, if not the greatest, NASCAR champion ever. In this age, certainly so. 4 consecutive championships. It's never been done before. He could extend that streak to 5 today, but he's got to rally from behind. And Denny Hamlin, not all that many years ago, he was welding trailer hitches for a living, racing cars at local Saturday night short tracks. Today he stands on the verge of being a champion at stock car racing's highest level. With Coach Joe Gibbs and his team behind him, Hamlin tries to protect the lead and race to his first Sprint Cup title today. We go trackside now for the command to get it started.
Race fans, are you ready? The time is now. It's time for the most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command for the final time in 2010, please welcome our Grand Marshal, legendary singer, Celebrity Apprentice winner, and star of the new hit VH1 show, Life as I Know It, Bret Michaels.
Miami, Florida, are we ready to go racing? Woo! Here it comes. Gentlemen, start your engines.
That'd be Rocky. I got you both of them.
3 drivers, 1 race, 1 champion. It's an exciting day. And excited to call the race for you. Topside are Marty Reed, Dale Jarrett, and Andy Petrie. Gentlemen, have fun.
Thank you, Alan. We certainly will, and glad that all of you at home are along for the ride. It's what we've been dreaming about since the season started back at Daytona. A championship that would come to the final race, and it will be decided between 3 great drivers. And what about the demeanor of the 3? How about Jimmy Johnson? He seems to have been the coolest, calmest all week, and why not? He's won this thing 4 times, and he's sticking the needle into Denny Hamlin every chance he gets. But what about the other 2?
Well, Denny Hamlin, all the pressure is on him. The other 2, they want the spot that he occupies in the points when this race is over. So I think he's done a really good job of hiding it, but he's nervous coming into this race. He's starting back in the pack, and right now especially, he knows that he's got a lot of work to do, and he's a little nervous about it. He's managed those emotions pretty well all week. I expect him to drive a good race, but he's never driven a race with so much at stake as it is today.
With Kevin Harvick, what we've seen is a very relaxed competitor. He really is relishing this moment and this opportunity that he has. He knows that he's an underdog in this, and he has to have some help for all of this to happen, but he's ready to do his part. They brought a brand new race car. They brought the best engine they've ever taken, so they've got the best equipment here for him. He's ready to do the challenge, and he's not going to let anybody, any competitor, get in his way trying to go to the front today.
All right, let's talk about the crew chiefs and pit road. What's the strategy?
Well, there can be no predetermined strategy for the crew chiefs and the teams on pit road because it's really that close. It's too tight to be having that kind of a strategy to protect the lead. So they're going to have to roll with the punches and handle each situation as it comes up, and I think that's going to be the key today.
Yeah, and as a driver, you have to put 100% of your trust in the crew chief. He's what's got you to this point to have this great opportunity. You have to be on the same page, thinking wise, but you do want to know and be kept abreast of everything that's going on within your race team and the others. We might not have seen all of that happen with the 11 team last week. I think Denny Hamlin wants to be a little more informed this week, so we'll see how that works.
Well, let's talk to the crew chiefs. We've talked to the drivers. Dave Burns, you've got Chad Knaus.
Standing here with him, he's shaking the guys' hands who go over the wall for him today. They're new to this whole thing with you. This is the first time since 2005 you've had to race from behind here at Homestead. What kind of a mindset did you try to give the crew, old and new?
There really wasn't much needed effort at all, really. The guys are really motivated, ready to go. The whole team's excited. Jimmy's excited. We've got a great race car. Just happy to be in the position to come here and battle for another championship. You know, we've been battling for championships since 2002 with this team, and I think it speaks a lot about the tenacity of Jimmy and this team and Mr. Hendrick and everybody at Hendrick Motorsports. So it's been a fantastic season, whatever the outcome is, but I honestly think that we got an opportunity to go out there today and do something pretty special.
All right, good luck today. He climbs on top of the 4-time winning championship pit box. Dr. Jerry Punch?
Well, Dave, a little earlier, Gil Martin told me the strategy could be summed up with one word: offense. And so, Gil, from a game plan standpoint, what can you as a crew chief do to help your driver get from 28th to 1st, and how long will it take?
Well, Doc, we're looking at two scenarios here at the start of this race. If we can get a caution around lap 8, we're coming to pit road because we're going to put tires on that thing all day long. And some of the guys up front may be afraid to come. But playing offense, I think we're going to put tires on all day. Or long green runs. The car was tremendous yesterday on a long green. That's when Kevin's at his best on a slick track like this. So a long green run won't hurt my feelings either right off the bat.
Hey, have some fun today.
And we're going to have a great time. Thanks.
All right, Jamie?
Of the 3 contending crew chiefs today, Mike Ford has the toughest task, getting his driver from the back to the front. Mike, how do you get Denny from 37th to the front and keep him out of harm's way today?
You know, first of all, you just have to settle into the race, first few laps, you know, see where things sort out. The thing about it is our race car is working well on the bottom, and I know the track's slick, a lot of guys are going to move up, so that opens up the bottom. We started from further back last year and drove to the front, so I think that formula stays the same. You get the car working on the bottom, and you're going to have clear track.
All right, Mike Ford, like his driver Denny Hamlin, looking for their first ever championship. Marty?
And the cars are getting ready to roll off. Let's show you the onboards. We've got a total of 9 of them. In fact, 3 with our top contenders. You're not going to miss a thing. We'll go green when we come back. The moment at hand is just a few ticks of the clock away here at the Ford 400. Cars are on the pace lap here to decide a championship, a moment in time that will last forever in the history of this great sport. To give us the big picture before we go green, let's go to Vince Welch.
There are 36 point-scoring races during a Sprint Cup season, but this one is more than just another race. For these 3 championship contenders, the next few hours will feature moments that will define their careers, maybe shape their legacy. Some spend an entire lifetime chasing a championship, and some never satisfy their hunger to win another. This day, this race is what they live for. It will provide a joy or a heartbreak that they will never forget.
I wouldn't trade my position with any of the other 2 drivers. You know, I feel like we're obviously in the best position. We have the lead. We control our own destiny.
When you're not protecting something, it's like, yeah, let's try it. And what do we have to lose? Let's do this. Let's do that. And I've been much more relaxed through it all this week.
The way everything's gone this year, it just seems like if we were ahead, it just wouldn't be right at this point. It seems like something dramatic has to happen, and that seems to be how our whole year has gone.
Without a doubt, there is more electricity here than we've felt in the last 4 years.
Yeah, this seems to be one of the biggest races that I've ever witnessed since I've been in the sport. I just have that feeling this is a big one.
Yeah, it's just been incredible, the intensity by all of these drivers, what they put forth to get themselves in this position.
Here is the message from team owner Rick Hendrick to his 4-time champion.
Chad, Jimmy, you guys had an awesome year, and you're the best at this kind of race, so finish them off, buddy.
And as we get ready to go green, we'll roll the starting grid across the top of the screen, and we've added a feature for today's race. What you'll see right below is there the points. Now, it's exactly as they stand right now, and after the completion of the first lap, it will constantly update, and you're going to see some dramatic changes even after the opening lap based on where these drivers are starting. It shows you the ebb and flow of this championship battle as we get ready to decide the 2010 NASCAR Sprint Cup champion. Let's talk a little bit about this 1.5-mile oval in southern Florida. We saw it last night in the Nationwide Series. You can drive just about any line you like.
Yeah, and that's what they intended when they built this racetrack, that progressive banking 18 to 20. That's going to be a factor today, but the biggest thing these guys are going to try to find is some grip wherever it is on this racetrack.
267 laps, just a tick over 400 miles, and how tight are the knots in their stomachs right now?
Oh, I promise you, it's almost hard to explain to someone that hasn't been in this position just how nervous you are right now. And I don't care if you've won 4 championships in a row or going for your first. You're very, very nervous, but you're just ready to get this going. We're almost there.
And the guys on the pit boxes, they can't hardly breathe either. You know, they're just wanting to get this thing going. There's so much nervous energy down there and so much unknowns that are going to happen today. They're just very apprehensive.
Chad and his team waving to their driver as they go by. And now let's listen in on the 29 radio of Kevin Harvick.
Have a good day, bud. Thank you for a great season. Let's have a good day. Kevin, you've done a great job all year, buddy. We're behind you 100%.
No response from Kevin. I think
he's ready.
He's ready. He's got the bit between his teeth. And he has said over and over this week, I will do whatever it takes to win this. Final check of the 11 radio. What's Denny and his team talking about?
All right, man, check your switches, pull those belts, relax those hands and shoulders, get you a feel for it, and then go after. 10-4. Let's make this a memorable day, guys.
Denny admitted in that last pre-race interview with us, he was really feeling the nerves at that point.
He's done a good job of containing him this week, but I know he's nervous. He's got to be nervous. It's only human. You'd be pretty apprehensive getting ready to start this thing.
Yeah, and I think one thing that makes you nervous as a driver, unlike so many other sports, if this was a Super Bowl, we'd be talking about 2 teams. We've got 42 other cars each of these drivers are dealing with, and that's what you can't control.
Pace car bringing them through turn 3. You can hear this great crowd on hand at Homestead Miami Speedway as they're coming to their feet, getting ready for the start of the final race. For Jimmie Johnson, 14 of his 19 chase wins have come from a top 6 starting position. He starts 6th today. For Denny Hamlin, he won this race last year from 38th, the lowest starting position of a Homestead winner. He starts 37th today. And Kevin Harvick, he's got to win this race. He knows it, but he's never done it here. But he has finished 2nd twice, and he knows that's not good enough. They come down to the green flag, and the final race for the chase for the Sprint Cup is green. Pole sitter Casey Kane takes the early lead into turn 3 with Carl Edwards right behind.
Yeah, I saw something on the start. They couldn't even get grip on the straightaway to get the race started hardly.
Yeah, it looked like Carl Edwards a little late on the draw, but he may have just spun the tires a little bit.
As we come across, it's Kane, Edwards, McMurray, Allmendinger, Jimmie Johnson into 5th, and you can already see how the points will flex and flow through the course of this race. Every position counts. Top 10 cars getting into single file, double file a little bit further back. Matt Kenseth and Kurt Busch in his familiar spot here at Homestead Miami. He's heading for the top already.
Yeah, and you know, and then the championship contenders, I think we're going to see them down the bottom. We heard Mike Ford talk about their car being good on the bottom. I like that strategy at first. If you're up against the wall and something happens, you don't have but one way to go, and that's to the left. If you're down on the bottom or the middle, you give yourself a couple of different options to get out of that.
Jimmie Johnson going for 4th place over Jamie McMurray as they're flying down the backstretch. McMurray carried the momentum out of 2. He holds him off for now.
Look at Jimmy drive the thing down in the corner, though.
See how that high line works here. There's more banking up there. You can carry a little more speed. See Jamie McMurray struggling a little bit, though. Jimmy able to make the pass.
Jimmy takes over the position. Move him up to 4th. There's Kevin Harvick side by side with Greg Biffle further back in this field. That is for 21st on the track. With Sam Hornish going to the rear with a vehicle change, the 29 actually started 26th, even though he qualified 28th. Let's go back up front, because here we go with Carl Edwards, who was so disappointed he did not claim that pole. He's going after the race lead right now over Casey Kane. They're side by side coming to the stripe.
Yeah, a lot of people think that Carl Edwards is the car to beat to win this race today. Had a great run last week, broke that losing streak, and it's ready to make it back-to-back.
If he wouldn't have been involved in that early crash, he almost could have been the favorite to win last night, where Kyle Busch went 2 for 2, winning the Truck Series race and last night's Nationwide Series event.
Got Jimmy Johnson on the attack again underneath A.J. Allmendinger.
Allmendinger in the 43. Boy, does he have a lot on his mind. The team finds out on Monday what's going to happen to the future of Richard Petty Motorsports. The King says we will be back. They're going to lay out the plans on Monday. Let's look for Denny Hamlin. He is a lot further back, side by side with Kyle Busch. That is for 27th on the track.
He has gained 9 spots so far.
Making his way forward. Carl looks really good on the bottom of the racetrack right now.
Said he was going to take it easy, be cautious in the early stages. Got Marcus Ambrose in front of him now. Denny going to the low side, on board with Kyle. Then he picks up another spot. He gets around Ambrose. Eric Almirola in the 9, right in front, the 39 of Ryan Newman, who became a new papa earlier this week. 3 wide coming out of the corner. Whoa, Biffle almost put it up against the wall again. Did it in the first practice session. They moved to the backup car. Here comes Jimmy as we move back forward, looking for that 3rd spot. All over A.J. Allmendinger.
I can tell you, I'm pleasantly surprised with this 48 car. I didn't think they were that good. I knew they would make some adjustments, but I wasn't sure if how good they would be at the start of this race.
Single file all the way back to about 10th, 11th place. Jimmy's going to take another run down low. Dave, what's the latest you're hearing from the 48?
DJ wondering about the speed of the 48. I asked crew chief Chad Knaus about that this morning. He said, as far as that, we are fair. There are 2 to 3 faster than us. I said, were either of them the 11 or the 29? He said, nope, we think we're better than them.
Well, that's confidence. I didn't actually see it that way in practice. I thought the 29 was actually a little better than they were, but they're all real close.
Johnson's fallen back into station right now, about a car length and a half back of A.J. Still running the low line through 3 and 4. It's allowed Jamie McMurray to draw back in a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Jimmy to make that pass on the bottom on A.J. It's just that preferred groove with that extra banking up top and the momentum. It's just so hard to clear, make that pass when you have 2 cars that are that equally matched.
Going to the front of the field with Carl Edwards, Casey Kane. Let's get an update from pit road, Doc.
Guys, 2 laps ago, Carl Edwards came by and said, guys, look at the grill. Look at the front grill on the car. My water temperature is 235. He came by that time and just said, guys, now it's over 240. Take a good, hard look at the grill. Is it an issue? He said, we'll keep an eye on it, but we should be okay. And he told the spotter, get a good, hard look at that grill on the front of the car.
Yeah, that 230, 240 is nothing to be concerned big time about except the rate that it's going up. And I think that's what Carl is concerned with, that it is still going up.
You saw on the right side of your screen while Doc was talking that Jimmy Johnson took over 3rd over A.J. Allmendinger. So right now, Jimmy Johnson of the 3 contenders up front. And we completed just 10 laps here at the Ford 400. Goodyear's Support Our Troops program, and there you can send a thank you message from a NASCAR driver and enter for a chance to win a 2011 Ford Taurus and other great prizes. That's the difference between 1st and 2nd. Carl Edwards has it by about a half a second over Casey Kane.
Got one in the wall.
And we got trouble in the wall, and it's David Ruderman, and during the commercial break, he hit it earlier, so this is his 2nd time.
A little right rear again, Dan.
caution is out. You can see he has got the right rear down and the damage, the
a
left
lot of
side.
debris down the front straightaway.
All right, let's go back to the second incident here first. This is what just occurred.
See, down into 3, that's where the tire lets go. Gets really loose.
He hit the wall earlier and damaged that right side, but his car was fast after that.
Yeah, he was running in the 11th position. There's the left tire coming apart.
Oh, my.
Quarter panels off of it. All right, now let's go back to the first incident. Watch what happens with Kurt Busch, because we couldn't figure this one out.
Well, this is down in 1 and 2. You see Rudiman get loose down in there. See Kurt Busch, in trying to slow down, got on the brakes a little hard and actually got loose and couldn't get slowed down before he ran into the back of the 00 of David Rudiman.
And then here's what happened in between those two incidents. It's been an eventful day for David Rudiman.
And it could have been that left rear tire that blew on Rudiman just now that caused that last one.
So he's got the car back on pit road, and it's already looking worse for wear. Let's check in with Tim Brewer over at the Craftsman Tech Garage.
Andy's exactly right. When that car had impact with a wall, what it literally does, it impacts the right rear tire, but it shoves all the suspension components, including the panner bar rod right here that's hooked to the left rear trailing arm. It literally pushes the entire housing out the left side of the car. That's probably what caused that left rear tire to rub the fender, and that's the reason the tire blew out. Guys?
All right, thanks, Tim. There'll be no lucky dog. No one was a lap down. One car has pulled it behind the wall. Mike Bliss has taken it back to the garage area. Right now it is Carl Edwards. He has led 14 of the 18 laps that we have run. Casey Kane, our pole sitter, led the other 4. Jimmy Johnson has moved up to 3rd. A.J. Allmendinger 4th. And Jamie McMurray running in the 5th position.
Okay, it's time for the pit crews to shine a little bit here.
You heard Gil Martin say, hey, we get an early stop, we're coming for tires.
Yeah, so is everybody else now.
They're not going to get a jump on anybody.
It's about to get real busy, and Jamie Little, you're up first.
Well, Denny Hamlin hoped to get around the 9 car on the track so he wouldn't have to pass him getting into his pit box. That wasn't the case. Now, Denny's saying he's just a little tight through the center. Really good off. Good car, air pressure adjustment, 4 tires, Dave.
Jimmy Johnson is driven from 6th to 3rd. He'll get a track bar adjustment for a car that's a little bit loose at this point. Doc?
Kevin Harvick says I'm very tight into the turns and I'm plowing the center, so they're going to come in and go up 2 rounds on the track bar and change 4 tires and top it off with Sunoco fuel. Harvick hitting second down. 99 is down and away. Edwards goes by, and Harvick still up for the tires on the left side.
It's a faster race off pit road, and you can see that Allmendinger picked up a spot. Jimmy lost a spot. Kenseth picks up 3. Jeff Gordon loses 2. So we'll update everybody on where they are, including the 3 championship contenders, when we come back to the Ford 400. Under our first caution here at Homestead Miami Speedway, after David Rudiman had the tire let go on him and he hit the wall. And after 21 laps, our race leader is Carl Edwards. Let's take a look at the pit stops of our 3 championship contenders.
You see, Denny Hamlin had the fastest pit stop of the 3, gained 4 spots. Harvick, also a good stop, gained 5 spots. See, Jimmy stopped not quite so good, lost a spot, but he also lost just a little bit of time getting out of his pit stall and up to pit road speed.
Let's show you what happened on Jimmy's stop.
Outside one. Clear. At shore mark now.
Yeah, that's just a driver getting good information and making sure that you don't create any problems on pit road.
So Johnson will restart 4th, Harvick 15th, Hamlin in 18th. So he has picked up 18 positions for Denny Hamlin so far. Carl Edwards takes the inside line. We're back to green flag racing at Homestead Miami. Good clean restart, and Carl Edwards trying to set sail again. A.J. Allmendinger side by side with the 83 of Casey Kane. 3 wide in the back of the field. Greg Biffle there at the start-finish line.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin's in the middle of that 3 wide situation.
So's Regan Smith.
I think his teammate Kyle Busch put him in that situation there for a moment.
Denny's on the low side of the track trying to get underneath Biffle. Oh, trouble, and it involves Hamlin. The championship points leader goes around, and can he save it? Caution is out. He keeps it off the wall.
Okay, we're going to need 4 tires. Come on around.
That's a lot of damage to that right front fender.
The very thing he did not want to see happen. You see him slam the wheel.
16 just turned right down on us. Right down on me.
He was running 18th at the time.
Well, this is just one of those situations. If you qualify in the back, you're going to be in these spots.
We're going to need to work on the splitter. We need some braces. Need some splitter braces.
Yep. Take a look at the right front corner.
A lot of damage there. They're going to have to fix that. It's not to say they can't get that fixed and be good. It's just going to take some time.
All right, let's go back. Take a look at it again.
See, as they come up out of turn 2 here, see Hamlin gets a run.
I don't see Biffle turning left.
I mean, he might have come just a little bit, but then he was going up into him there also. Always looks a little different, I promise you, from the driver's seat. It's exactly what does happen. You think you're giving them enough room, but that right there showed that's just an accident, really.
Yeah, you see Biffle's not, he doesn't want to pull up in the outside lane because he's got Paul Menard trying to occupy that space.
Yeah, he was really trying not to create a situation on the high side there, giving Paul Menard room.
On board with Denny.
Still 2 wide, 3 wide, 3 wide.
He had gained 19 spots at this point. Let's give you one more view from Greg Biffle.
Back on you, in the middle. Caution out behind you.
As bad as this is for him, it could have been a lot worse, Jamie.
It could happen. Mike Ford is crew chief, very methodical, talking everybody through it, being very calm. They know they're not out of this thing. They've overcome worse this year. You see him working on the splitter braces up there on the right front of the race car. They're filling it up with fuel in the meantime, putting 4 sticker tires on this race car. So once he gets back out there, he could be at an advantage. But remember, they're working against the clock right now. They can only do so much right now before they have to get back out there before they go a lap down. So you see him with the mallet right there working on the splitter. Looks like they fixed it, but they're correcting the left side of the front of Denny Hamlin's race car right now. Like you guys said, this could have been a lot worse. You see him stepping on it there?
Denny, wheel hard left.
Real hard left so they can work on it and pull it out there. Work continues here, but Denny, guys, stayed very calm after this happened. You heard him on the radio talking about the 16. Trying not to give up right now. We're only 25 laps in. He has a great race car. Getting out of there. He's down and away.
It's really important for them to get the shape of all that correct, but it's also going to be important for that right front brace to make sure it's going to stay there, because that thing breaks and fails, and that thing is going to really let that splitter go down on the track, and they'll end up losing that thing because it'll wear on the track. So they still have a little work to do.
Kurt Busch also came in. There he is. They come out side by side together. And Hamlin, the only good news for him is that this happened early in the race. There's plenty of time as long as he can stay on the lead lap and suffer no more damage. Now let's listen to Greg Biffle's radio as he explains what happened.
Let's try to give the 98 room on the outside there. We're 3 wide. I don't know what he's doing that tight on me when we're 3 wide.
Yeah, I can't disagree with Greg Biffle at all. He did nothing wrong in that situation. You know, the tendency is for your car to push up into that car that's on the outside, and Greg was just trying to make sure that he didn't create a situation there.
Yeah, you know, he gave Paul some room, maybe just a little bit too much room, but I'm not sure that Denny wasn't going to get into him anyway.
Yeah, that's a racing incident is all that you can say.
Remember when Denny spun back in New Hampshire, lap 214, dropping from 4th to 22nd. He was the last car in the lead lap then. He recovered to finish 2nd. All right, let's go into the Craftsman Tech Garage and get the latest from Tim Brewer.
Thanks, guys. That could have been a lot worse, because if the car would have been coming down, it would have literally ripped the splitter off the car. Just pushing it up, those guys did a great job, because what they're there to do is salvage what's already affixed to the car, because anytime you have to change these components right here, it takes a lot of time. Guys?
Yeah, Tim, that's exactly what I always told my guys. Let's don't do any more damage than we already have. Let's try to fix what we've got without causing or inflicting any more damage.
Hamlin's going to restart in 39th. Up front, it's Edwards, Allmendinger, Kane, and Jimmy Johnson 4th. Boy, Carl's got a good race car. He is shooting out of the gate again. Going to try 3 wide. There's Biffle up on that high side. 3 wide coming down, and Jimmy's in the middle this time.
Look at Harvick ducking out.
A little bit farther back in 12th spot. That's Kevin Harvick. You're right, Andy. Jimmy's got Jeff Burton right behind him. And we talked about this, DJ. You can run any line, at least where your car feels comfortable.
Yeah, you've got a lot of options to choose from there. So, you know, if somebody is right in front of you, you want some air to the front, you can go high or low here. There's a lot of options.
Close moment there between Kyle Busch and Clint Boyer.
Look at this guy, 4 wide.
4 wide as they come out of 2. Kyle going down even lower. Here comes Jeff Gordon. He's trying to get onto the 29. Harvick's got Mark Martin on his high side. Martin Truex right in front of him.
See Biffle laying black marks up on the high side.
Smoking those tires.
Here comes Harvick. Again, side by side with Mark Martin.
Now, when you're running that bottom side, you don't like a car right on the right side of your car, taking some air off of it. Makes it very difficult. You see Harvick not able to complete that pass. Actually going to lose another spot to Greg Biffle.
Jeff Gordon, Kyle Busch, they're all down low right behind Harvick.
You see that 9 car right behind Biffle. He had a great car at Happy Hour yesterday.
That's Eric Almirola. Let's get an update on that 16 car. Dave Burns.
You heard his comments on the radio regarding the incident, but now that he's back up to speed, Greg is smelling some smoke inside the car. He thinks it's just coming off the corners, a bit of a tire rub, and the crew told him that the tire rub was not bad enough to warrant a pit stop and a change of rubber.
You can see right there where he is on the racetrack right now, and there's Harvick trying to get back underneath him.
You see a little smoke every now and then out of that left rear.
The momentum that you can carry on that high side. Let's update you on Denny Hamlin. Remember, he restarted 39th. He has already picked up 9 spots. He is up to 30th.
All right, everybody breathe. 4, we're good. Including me.
Yeah, I think that was more for himself.
Well, and as we pointed out, if it was going to happen, better that it happen early than late.
Yeah, and he probably has been pointed out, probably got minimal damage out of a situation that could have been much worse. I think they'll still need to work on this some, but looked like Denny's doing okay right now.
Saw Sam Hornish right behind me there. He was the only car that went to the rear. They had to make a car change, and as we go back to the championship hunt, Denny Hamlin's got a lot of work to do. The new 2011 F-150 and its revolutionary EcoBoost engine has survived 24 straight hours on the track here at Homestead. Log on to FordVehicles.com to see everything Ford put it through. Right now, Ford's putting it through the field because Carl Edwards is up front looking to go back-to-back after winning at Texas. Now, here's our championship update as they run right now. Jimmy Johnson, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, and you can see how the points change instantaneously as they pick up or lose positions. And Denny Hamlin has rallied back now to 23rd position. So since the restart, he has picked up 15 spots.
Yeah, he's making his way forward. He's being smart about it, just kind of taking his time. But not quite picking off a car lap, but doing a pretty good job.
Let's get an update on a wiggling Jimmy Johnson. Dave.
You saw those points as they run and Jimmy ahead. Remember, before the race started, we asked him if he felt like he was racing from behind or from an advantage based on where he qualified. And he said from behind. So Chad trying to keep that mentality on him. He told him the 11 spun, but had no damage. Now, technically there was some damage, but I think he's trying to keep his driver hungry.
Well, he's right now in 4th. Right ahead of him is Casey Kane. Allmendinger is in 2nd. Carl Edwards is the race leader. And do you like that strategy, crew chief?
Oh, absolutely. That's exactly what I would have told my driver to. Just keep him up on that wheel, on the offense, just like he is right now.
Kevin Harvick, will tell you, is running 12th right now, and Hamlin has moved up to 20th.
I'll tell you though, here lately, Jimmy Johnson's car's picked up pretty good. He's had some of the fastest lap times on the track the last few laps.
Yeah, you know, watching practice, that was my concern about this car. Yeah, that they didn't have quite the speed, but was it going to hang on as good as what Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin's car was? So far, he looks like he's ready to make it happen today.
Martin Truex Jr. closing in on the 48, though, as Martin trying to put a little pressure on fourth place.
Yeah, Martin's running about 1.75 miles around this 1.5 mile racetrack. He is right against the wall.
Yeah, last lap he wasn't fast.
He goes to the bottom.
Well, he just wanted to prove you wrong. Here he goes, side by side. Truex, who finished second to Greg Biffle in this race back in 2006, can't get the pass done. He'll try again into one.
I think Jimmy's going to give him that spot here right now.
Yeah, that car's
racing
good.
for it.
That 56 car is flying right now.
So Johnson drops back to 5th, move. Truex up to 4th. There's Denny Hamlin on the right side of your screen. He has now moved into the 19th position, guys. He has just gotten around Brad Keselowski in the 12th.
Yeah, Denny's still running his car right down on the very bottom. He's not encountering much traffic down there, so it's getting all the air on the nose that he needs.
And it looks like the damage on the right front corner, they've stabilized it. Since the restart, obviously the biggest mover, he's picked up 18 positions. What are you hearing down in the pit road area with the 11, Jamie?
Well, Marty, the only difference in the race car right now, Denny's saying instead of being tight getting in, he's loose in and loose off. That's not necessarily a bad thing. That's how he was yesterday in happy hour. And on a side note, the team just reminded me, they said, hey, remember back in 2006 at Pocono? Denny spun, and what did he do? He won.
I just noticed there that right front corner is coming up a little bit.
It's up, but I don't think it's hurting his car at all. His car still looks really good to me.
Yeah, and you never really know how those type things are going to affect your race car because you don't put it in that situation. You wouldn't go out there and practice like that to see. So he says he's freed his car up in and on exit. Might not be a bad thing for Denny Hamlin here today.
Well, the next guy he's trying to track down is Regan Smith in the 78. Regan is about 0.7 of a second ahead of him. In fact, it's closing down quickly. There he is. Regan, of course, their team lost their hauler in a crash after the last race in a snowstorm outside Denver. Also, the motorhome got a lot of help from Richard Childress Racing, qualified 10th. Right now, Regan is running in the 18th position.
Now, one thing I'm seeing with Denny Hamlin, he's really able to get back to the throttle and drive his car around the center and exit of the corner, and that's where he's beating all of these cars that he's able to pass at this point in time.
He's the only car that's down on the white line in the middle of the corner.
Closing the gap on Regan Smith. Completed 46 laps so far.
See, not quite as low in 1 and 2 as he is in 3 and 4, but still quite a bit lower than anybody on the track right now.
Slides up right behind him. Still about a car length to go before he can get right on him.
Kevin Harvick's also been running down. I mean, actually been running high. Now he's trying the bottom. The spotter probably told him that 11 car was making some time down there on that white line.
Side by side as they come out of 4, as they come down the front straightaway. Still Regan Smith by a nose. Hamlin takes it deep into the corner.
And what I've seen is in Denny making these passes, he's been very methodical about it, hasn't pressed the issue, but just taking it whenever it's been given, and he's getting a lot of room and respect from the other competitors.
And you notice on the screen right above, Denny picked up those 3 more points as he goes around, cutting it down to 31. But that's the man they're all chasing. Boy, Carl Edwards is looking so good. He has led 43 laps here at the Ford 400. This week on ESPN's Monday Night Football, it's a battle of AFC West rivals. Kyle Orton leads the Broncos into San Diego for a battle with Phillip Rivers and the Chargers. Bronco Chargers, ESPN's Monday Night Football at 8:30 Eastern. Our coverage begins at 7 Eastern with Monday Night Countdown, served up by Applebee's.
Football's going to be flying out there. Those guys don't like to run it much.
54 laps in the books. The battle for second is beginning to heat up again between Casey Kane and A.J. Allmendinger. And look at Martin Truex trying to get in the mix as well as they continue on their quest. We can tell you that 4 cars are officially out of this race. Landon Castle, Joe Nemechek, J.J. Yaley, Mike Bliss, David Ruderman is behind the wall. That gets you caught up on what's happening at the back of the field. Seen what's happened up front. And here's the battle again, still going on with those two. Everybody's chasing Carl Edwards right now. He is leading by 1.4 seconds. Let's go up to speed. We'll kick it off with Martin Truex, Jamie Little.
So far, so good. Started the day 25th, and remember, he ran the nationwide race last night, so we could have gotten a leg up on the competition, kind of got a feel for the racetrack. But this is one of his best racetracks. He averages 11th here. Right now, the car really neutral, doing a great job. Oh, as he works on the 83. Dave.
David, we told you the 48 crew made an adjustment to Jimmie Johnson's car during that pit stop. Let's put you in the passenger seat with the 4-time champ and listen to what's happening now.
3 into 1, start center. Good on the throttle, up and 2. Good into 3, snug center, 3 up and 4.
He said they achieved the security they were looking for, but they might need to take some of that back for a little more speed out of it. Jamie?
And Jeff Burton behind him. I spoke to Jeff this morning. He was hanging out in the hauler. They were fastest in happy hour yesterday, and I said, is the car as good as it seems? He goes, no, we could be better. They want to get a win. They feel like they deserve a win after everything they've been through in this chase. 12th in the points coming into this race. Right now, the car just a little bit loose.
Jamie McMurray didn't make the chase, but he's won plenty of big races. He won the Daytona 500, the Brickyard 400. He won Charlotte here in the chase, and they felt like they had a car that could be a contender today. They started up near the front in row 2. He really likes his car. Says it's a little too loose off. Thinks, but that's if he could get in clean air, the car would be a lot better. Bono Mannion has given Jamie McMurray a good car again this week. Jamie?
And Eric Almirola have been doing a nice job in this 9 car. This will be the last start for him here. Remember, he will be nationwide only next year full time. He says the car is pretty good, just needs a little more grip overall, hitting his stride though with Kenny Francis as he goes to the outside of Jamie McMurray. And David Reagan 2 spots behind him. He too has hit his stride, had a new crew chief. It's been a few races now with Drew Blickensderfer, really trying to finish out the year strong and show that he is top 10 capable. Right now saying the car is just a bit free off the corner, but he's doing all right. And his teammate, Matt Kenseth, in the 17 car, spoke to Matt this morning, and he was pretty optimistic. He wasn't exactly sure what they had, but he is a race winner here. Says the car gets better on the longer run, and that is his style, working his way toward the front 10th right now. Tom?
Kevin Harvick has driven from 26 starting spot to 12th and 30 left. When the race began, Kevin said the car was just very, very tight. He said, I can't do anything. They made a pit stop on lap 19, came in, made a major track bar adjustment, and now Kevin says the car is much, much freer. Right now, though, he says, I don't have any drive-off grip. He has to back up a little bit on the track bar. And just now, Kevin said, guys, if you give me some track position, I will drive off from a lot of these guys. Jamie.
Denny Hamlin, who came in as the points leader after his spin through the grass, he restarted 39th all the way up to 17th. You heard him on the radio saying, everybody take a deep breath, including me, being very patient today, working his way. He says his car is great, just a bit free right now for Denny Hamlin in a race car he won with at Texas 2 weeks ago. Marty?
So the championship battle continues to build with Jimmie Johnson right now in command of the points and the best of the 3 on the racetrack. Denny Hamlin with the most work cut out for him as we check in on the battle for second. Here we go. Kasey Kahne trying again to go around A.J. Allmendinger.
Man, great battle. You just can't make that inside work. These 3 cars look pretty equal, but AJ's got the second spot right now.
And it's allowed Martin Truex to close in on the 83. All right, we're getting ready for pit stop, so we're going to step aside quickly so we'll be ready here at the Ford 400 at Homestead, Miami. Carl Edwards has led 57 of 62 laps.
Radio and said, I think I have a tire going down, and moments later he said, Mike, it just doesn't feel right. Mike Ford, his crew chief, said, if it doesn't feel right, bring it in. Changing 4 tires, 12.9 second stop there. Unfortunate for the 11 team. Hopefully that was the problem. We will inspect the tires right now, guys, and get back to you. If that wasn't the issue, something else is wrong with this race car.
He gave up 17th on the racetrack, but now as we look at the battle for 5th, here comes Jeff Burton on Jimmie Johnson. And Burton looks like he's going to take over the position as they head through the corner.
Not going to quite get him cleared here off of turn 4. So they have to fall back in line. He's at 9 car. Andy's talked about Eric Almirola, how fast he's been. He's catching these guys.
We told you pit stops are coming. Jamie, 43's in.
A.J. Allmendinger Allmendinger been doing a heck of a job today. Worked his way up to second, was gaining on the leader. 4 tire stop here as they work their way around to the left side. Despite everything going on at Richard Petty Motorsports, he has been on his game the last 2 months here. No changes for A.J. Allmendinger. He is down and away.
A bunch of other cars have come in as you continue to watch this battle out on the track between Jimmie Johnson and Jeff Burton. Let's send it down to Dave Burns.
Juan Pablo Montoya is in. His car's been mostly tight. They make a 4-tire change and he's gone.
Also coming down pit road there at the middle of your screen, Kasey Kahne, as he's making his stop. And there he is, Doc.
On pit road, Kasey Kahne, he said the car has been just loose going in and loose coming off. They've made 1 adjustment on air pressure and wedge. Now it's an air pressure change, 4 tires, and topping it off with Sunoco fuel. Kahne said the car has gotten better and better on this late run.
On the right side, you see Jeff Burton has gotten ahead of Jimmie Johnson. Pit stops continue. And the 99 of Carl Edwards is pulled down pit road as well. Doc?
Carl Edwards said the car is tight in the center but getting loose off. Air pressure change in the left front track bar adjustment. 4 tires. And by the way, Carl really dodged the bullet too because the heat in the grill. They had to get a grass out of the way. 29 car, Kevin Harvick in. They're backed up on the track bar, guys. They're going to back up on the adjustment they made on the track bar. Going down 1 round on the other side. Air pressure change for Harvick to give him more rear bite and drive off. He's away. Jamie.
And Jeff Burton in his pit box now. 4 tire stop here. An audible chassis adjustment. Maybe fill it up with fuel for Jeff Burton. Wipe the front grill there. Some of these guys complaining they do have trash on the grill. It's quite windy out here. Still working. It's taking an extra amount of time here, Vince, on the 31.
A deadly stop for Jeff Burton as he had driven to the front of this field. Vince?
The 24 of Jeff Gordon. Homestead is the only track on the circuit in which he has not won. He doesn't have the car so far to do it. It's way too tight. Dave Burns?
Jimmie Johnson explained a little bit about the whole corner. They're going to mostly work on the tight. They'll get a wedge and a track bar adjustment. Catch cam man Jamie Brady putting the wrench in there, doing both adjustments as the crew comes around to the left side, full of Sunoco fuel and 4 tires for Jimmy. Having a little trouble getting the left rear off and on. It'll be a slow stop for the 48.
15.6. Now, Jimmie Johnson did pick up 5 bonus points for leading a lap when Jeff Burton pulled off the track. And look at Chad Knaus.
Well, you don't want that kind of stop right now.
Rick Hendrick over his shoulder. And Jimmy's got to be wondering, hey, guys, let's not do this again. I don't need deja vu. So as they come around, Tony Stewart is your race leader, but now he is pulling down pit road. He has been our 6th different leader today. Jamie?
And Tony Stewart wants to round out this season with a win. Has won here before. Gary and Greb told me this morning they thought they were pretty good, really good on speed. Just wanted the balance to get a little bit better. Doing a 4 tire stop here. And Sunoco fuel for Tony Stewart, who's had a tough chase. Yes, he's had 1 win, but it's been a tough few weeks. It's a clean stop, no adjustments, 13.4.
On the right side of your screen, Martin Truex is shown as your race leader right now. Kasey Kahne is shown in 2nd, Carl Edwards in 3rd. Truex getting around Casey Mears. Mears in 32nd position. He is 1 lap down. We have a total now of 30 cars on the lead lap with a couple more still to go on pit stops.
Yeah, one of those cars that fell off the lead lap was Jeff Burton. He was in the pits for a long time on that stop. Don't know what was wrong on the left rear, but it took forever.
Burton is back in 36th. In fact, he's 5th in line to get the lucky dog. That's how bad a pit stop it was, and what a tough break for Jeff Burton. Now, the break for Denny Hamlin obviously is all these pit stops happened under green.
Yeah, one thing that happened too, now that he made that pit stop, he was the first to make a green flag stop. And it seemed like that triggered everybody else to make it because they were still 10, 15 laps before they had to make a pit stop for fuel. And I don't think anybody wanted to let Hamlin get a jump on him on tires.
No, and as I've watched him back out on the racetrack, he's still struggling with this number 11 car quite a bit.
You see right there is Denny Hamlin. He is running in 16th position right now. The 71 of Andy Lally is a lap vehicle. He's running 36. That battle for 2nd, Carl Edwards, Kasey Kahne, that's heating up again as they're closing in on Casey Mears. Truex is out in front of these two by 1.1 seconds. So Martin Truex right now is your race leader, and the championship is still in the control of Jimmie Johnson, who's running 7th here at the Ford 400. With 3 games. First at 5, the Oklahoma Sooners face John Calipari's reloaded Kentucky Wildcats. And then at 7:30, Kyle Singler leads Duke against Marquette in the first CBE Classic semifinal. And at 9:30, Jacob Pullen and Kansas State take on Gonzaga in the second CBE semi. ESPN, the home court of college hoops, part of Feast Week, presented by Lowe's, Monday on ESPN2. Back here at Homestead Miami Speedway, our race leader is Martin Truex Jr., as he has a 7/10 of a second lead over Carl Edwards. Edwards lost almost a second during the cycle of pit stops to Truex in front, and he is beginning to stretch it. It's Kane, Allmendinger, Almirola, McMurray, and Jimmie Johnson now in 7th. And despite the fact that Jimmie Johnson did not have a stellar pit stop, he really only lost 1 position on the racetrack. Let's go back and show you what happened, Andy.
Yeah, they have a little hiccup here on this green flag stop. If you're going to have a hiccup, it's better to have it under green. You don't lose near as many spots. I know you lose track time, but you see the right rear tire changer coming around here to the left, falls down. That throws him just off his rhythm. And that's enough to cost him some time. Like I said, it's better to have that under green than it is under caution.
We saw that happen in the Nationwide race last night. Another pit crew member falling as he came around. Now, let's do our Gillette Pro Glide profile, and we're talking about the 4-tire pit stops at Phoenix. Remember when they made the crew swap? And you can see that Jimmie Johnson's crew picked up 4 positions that day. The old crew, Jeff Gordon's, lost 5. But all of a sudden, like we said, they're starting to feel like deja vu probably.
Well, I mean, you're going to have issues that pop up during the race. That's just one incident. They did a great job last week, and I'm sure that they'll have good stops the rest of this race. And that'll be the key, is can they recover from this? You have those kind of things that happen when you step on an air hose or you just have one little glitch.
Jimmy's getting ready to go around David Gilliland. He is in 32nd position, 1 lap down. In fact, we have right now a total of 29 cars on the lead lap. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the last car on that lead lap. Total of 4 cars out of this race, as we mentioned before. 1 still back behind the wall. David Rudiman, they're trying to do repairs to get him back out.
You see right there, Harvick comes in the picture. He's going to be up on Jimmie Johnson's bumper here before too many more laps.
Harvick is 1 second behind Jimmie. When we went to commercial break, he was 2 seconds behind, so he is closing.
Well, he did take advantage of that little hiccup in the pits for Jimmie, and his crew did a good job to get him in and out. So, and his car's been good. I think they made an adjustment that last time. Seems like his car is a little bit better.
Now, this wasn't a hiccup. This was literally acid indigestion for the 31 of Jeff Burton. What happened on this pit stop? Because we were blocked on our camera angle, Jamie.
Well, when I was calling the pit stop, I said, well, there's a hang-up on the left side, on the left rear. They had a hard time getting it off. Well, this was the radio communication after that.
Got something hung in between the hub and the stud when the tire was going back on. So we'll just have to make it back up to you here.
And that was Crew Chief Todd Barrier telling them there was something blocking it. They couldn't get the left rear tire all the way on. They said, I'm sorry, dude, we'll make it up to you. And he is 1 lap down right now. Vince.
Well, maybe bad news for the 24 of Jeff Gordon. He feels like he's down on power. Tried the second battery, tried the second box. Says we're definitely down on power. They believe they're down a cylinder. Not good news for the 24 in his bid to win at Homestead for the first time ever.
Yeah, Vince, that thing laid down for sure down the front straightaway. You could hear it's on 7 or maybe even less cylinders. Yeah, it sounded like it may have dropped a valve.
Not the way Jeff Gordon wanted to end the year. 64 races without a win now, and he'll go winless here in 2010.
Now the impact here is this is the same engine company that builds engines for Jimmie Johnson, so got to be kind of wondering what the problem might be.
No Hendrick team member has ever won here at Homestead Miami Speedway, and it looks like Jeff Gordon may be in deep trouble here as we are 90 laps into this race. There's where they are right now concerning the points. Jimmie Johnson in control. He's running 7th on the track. You an inside look at the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup on the Now Network. Our points leader at this point in the race would be Jimmie Johnson, as he is running in the 7th position. Second would be Denny Hamlin. He is 21 markers behind, currently in 16th position on the racetrack. third would be Kevin Harvick, who is closing quickly on Johnson. He has moved up to the 8th spot on the field. Fastest lap is the 83 of Kasey Kahne. 31.90 seconds. For more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, and live race radio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile at sprint.com/speed. Speaking of speed, there is Kasey Kahne. See where he is currently third. Started out as our pole sitter. You know, 5 of his 11 Cup wins have come from the pole. And this one's far from over. He's 2.7 seconds behind race leader Martin Truex Jr. Carl Edwards, who has led the most laps at 64, is running second. And here is getting to be a very interesting occurrence, as here was the battle between Jimmie Johnson, Kevin Harvick, 7th and 8th, and Harvick's closing.
Yeah, he's gotten right to his bumper. Time or two, caution's out.
Caution for debris on the racetrack. Here on lap 98 of 267, we have our third caution, and we will finally get our first lucky dog of the day. And believe it or not, it will be Tony Stewart.
Denny Hamlin needed this break. They need to work on his race car if he's going to have a chance at winning this championship.
Most of these teams pitted last time under green between laps 68 and 70. And here we are completing lap 98. Gil Martin's already got his crew up on the wall. As he had said, he's going to change every chance he gets. And we mentioned the Aaron's lucky dog, and there he is, Tony Stewart. So it'll give us 25 cars back on the lead lap, but still 1 lap down. Guys like Kurt Busch, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Gordon, who's struggling with that cylinder, and Jeff Burton. So a lot of big players normally that we see up front.
Yeah, as good as Harvick's car was that run, I did see one of the crew members with a wedge wrench in his hand. Looks like they're going to make another change.
I was really impressed with Martin Truex. Got out front there on the exchange with the pit stops, stayed right up against the wall and held the lead the entire time.
Well, Martin only led 26 laps entering today's race for the entire year. He's led 26 today. So a good day so far for the 56. We can tell you the 00 is pulling back out onto the racetrack. They have put Rudimant's car back together. He is 80 laps down, but congratulations, guys. At least he's back out. All right, here they come. Jamie?
Mike Ford, crew chief for Denny Hamlin, told his driver the splitter is definitely not right. We need to work on it on the front right. He asked Denny if that's okay. Denny said, I don't want to give up track position, but I will be dramatically better if we do. Dave?
Jamie, we'll see if rear tire changer Joe Slingerland can keep his footing. He does, around to the left side. Loose race car, track bar adjustment. Doc?
Bottoming of screen, Carl Edwards. I'm good in 1 and 2. I'm struggling in 3 and 4. Half around on the track bar, 4 tires and fuel. Kevin Harvick also going back a half a round adjustment on the track bar. Car was better, but not good enough. 4 tires. He's away as they scramble off pit road, guys.
Faster race off pit road. See everybody hold station. Guys. Kevin Harvick picks up 2 spots. Jimmie Johnson's team loses 3. So the complexion of the race changes again. And underneath that helmet, there's a smile on the face of Kevin Harvick. Miami Speedway, we've completed 101 of the 267 scheduled laps at the Ford 400. And right now in the championship chase, as the points shake out, it is Jimmie Johnson in control. He is going to restart in the 10th position. But the best right now on the mover. He's had problems, though. I mean, pit road, where they have been so strong last week after making the swap, this week, look how close it was to contact.
That's a close call. The key thing, there was no contact.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be there on that left front. But Jimmy and Kyle both did a nice job there.
But the pit times have been slower as well. Let's take a comparison to Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, you see 13.3. I mean, that's not a bad stop. It's just not nearly as good as Harvick's team, who got him out there and gained a couple spots. And see the 3 spots lost by Johnson.
Denny Hamlin's going to restart 16th. Jimmie Johnson 10th. And Harvick in the 6th position. Up front, it is Carl Edwards. And look at Jamie McMurray down low in that number 1.
Yeah, he blasted green flag. He was ready.
Truex and Edwards up front, side by side.
Comes Harvick getting a push from Kyle Busch.
Jamie McMurray looked like he had an afterburner on that start.
Literally getting a push.
That's interesting. You'd think that he'd be the last guy he'd like to push unless it's up into the wall. But they warned him about team tactics.
Ooh, Harvick slides right up in front of Kasey Kahne.
See at the top of the screen where Dynamically, the points will change every time the positions change on the track. And you can see exactly where each of the three contenders are. And look at where Denny Hamlin is. He's in a log jam right now. Mark Martin right in front of him. Montoya underneath him. Want to get close to Denny? Regan Smith on the high side in that 78. Joey Logano, who has had a great streak of races here, scored the fourth most amount of points during the 9 prior chase races. Did not have the kind of run he wanted last night in the nationwide race. But Denny Hamlin right there underneath now on the low side.
McMurray going after second.
Takes the care of business with Martin Truex. Can he seal the deal as he comes through the corner? He's carrying the momentum, and he's got him. On the left side of your screen. That's what Denny Hamlin's still having to deal with.
Really surprised they didn't take a little time and work on this 11 car on that pit stop. They reported they were going to probably do that. They put 4 tires on it and sent Denny back on his way.
Let's get an update on the 11. Jamie?
And DJ, you're exactly right. That was the plan, but the last-minute decision by Mike Ford to not give up track position. Instead, he made a wedge adjustment to try to compensate for that free race car, instead leaving that splitter on the right front lifted a little bit. But he just told his driver, we still need to work on it. And Denny said, man, we are going to be so much better if we can take the time to fix this. So it's definitely something they're going to do in the coming laps.
Kind of like I said at the beginning of the show, Marty, you can't make a predetermined plan on what you can do during the race. And this is one of those situations where Mike Ford is just acting, you know, right there by the seat of his pants, saying, I think we'd be better if we just try an adjustment, get out here and see what it does to the car before we give up all the track position.
Well, he's running about 0.2 of a second slower than Jimmie Johnson. And that's the guy he's really worried about. He's actually about 0.4 of a second slower than our race leader, Carl Edwards. But right now, nobody's closing on Carl.
Well, actually, Jamie McMurray is trying to put some pressure on him. He got sideways off turn 4 that lap.
Well, Jamie got that perfectly set matched tires there, didn't he?
Yeah.
Perfectly matched set. I was trying to say that's easy for me, but have to be really impressed with what they've done. See, Denny Hamlin gets passed by Elliott Sadler there to lose a spot.
Right now up front, it is Edwards, McMurray, Truex, Allmendinger, and then Kevin Harvick in 5th. What you're looking at right now is Denny Hamlin trying to get around Elliott Sadler for the 15th position on the track. And this is really the highest Denny has been all afternoon long in 16th. He was up to 18th when they had the contact with Greg Biffle, and that's what started this day.
Yeah, that 16th spot seems to be the high water mark for him today. He's not been able to get past that. And matter of fact, this run here looks like there might be some cars behind him that are a little better.
Jimmie Johnson on the right side of your screen is running 8th. And what's the latest you're hearing, Dave Burns?
That pit stop, if you think about it, they really only lost 1 spot before the jam up on pit road. That's when 2 other cars really got ahead of them. So kind of holding their own right there. I've been talking to Chad this morning about how he was feeling about his race car. He said, you know, I don't lie awake thinking about how to beat the 11 today. I lie awake thinking about how to make our race car better. Jimmy said nothing on the radio since that restart, and just hanging in there right now. He's lost 1 spot since they got going again.
The pit stops have not been as good this week for the 48. There's Kevin Harvick in that front of that 4-car train that ends with the 48 of Jimmie Johnson. The man they're all chasing, there he is, Carl Edwards. He's opened up a 0.7 of a second lead. He's led 73 laps here at the Ford 400.
150 miles of the 400-mile championship deciding race. It's been an eventful one so far for Denny Hamlin.
Oh, yeah, he got into the left side of Greg Biffle right there. He's got right front damage on his car. You see him spin right there. And I believe it's hurting his car a little bit.
That was 23 laps into the race. Jimmie Johnson's had his troubles in the pit.
Well, I tell you what, this is the one thing that's been their Achilles heel all season long. And, boy, they had an awful pit stop. Put them back, mired them back in traffic somewhat.
Pretty smooth day for Harvick.
Yeah, all in all, but I just don't think he's still got the speed that he thought that he had in that car. And I think that the racetrack, a little bit of different cloudy conditions might have thrown those guys off just a little bit.
You see where the 3 title contenders are running in the race at the moment. Jimmie Johnson has moved up a little bit since the restart. Kevin Harvick has pretty much held station, while Denny Hamlin is slipping back a little bit. He restarted 16th. He's running in 20th position right now. Jimmy Johnson, 48, racing Kyle Busch in 18 for 7th spot, trying to get it away. So, Rusty, put me inside the car of these three guys. Start with Jimmy Johnson. What is his thought process now at this point in the race, understanding where he is in the field?
Well, right now he's okay, Alan. He's looking in pretty good shape. He's got a pretty good handle of the car. It's not doing everything that he wants. He's communicating back and forth with Chad of the changes that he needs to make in this car to make it better. But we're about halfway through the race, and everything's looking pretty good for Johnson at this point. Still needs some adjusting, but he's keeping calm and cool.
Brad Ray, what about the 11 team, Denny Hamlin?
Well, it just seems like there's something wrong. I think that right front splitter still seems to be somewhat of a problem for that race car. They just haven't picked up any significant speed. We've heard Denny say a couple of times that they need a little tweaking on that race car to make it better.
Still really loose, Mike. Extremely loose. And far.
Good call there, Brad. On that splitter, even though it's in the front of the car, it affects the total downforce of that race car. And if it's taken away some of that downforce, that could cause some of that looseness. One of the key factors that we are seeing here right now, none of our 3 championship chasers have been strong enough to jump up there and lead the most laps. That's 5 points that's not going to be available to those guys, because right now it doesn't look like any of them can jump up there and lead the most laps.
Ray, one thing I'm noticing about the 11 car, Denny Hamlin, the right front fender is pushed out pretty far. And the wider you get the front fenders, the more downforce these cars create. That could be one of the reasons causing this car to be real loose for Denny Hamlin. Next pit stop, hopefully they can fix that.
Too much pressure on the front. And Ray, just to clarify, you were talking about no one's jumped up and led the most laps, but Jimmy Johnson has led a lap. He's the only one of the championship drivers that's led so far.
Yeah, he has led a lap, but again, the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps, I don't believe today is going to go to one of our chasers. Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick both have the opportunity to jump up there and lead a lap, but I don't believe that they're going to get the extra 5 for leading the most laps.
Really thought we would see Hamlin and Harvick and Johnson up toward the front by the time the race approaches halfway, racing for the win. And at this point, we're not seeing that. No one has shown the strength to get to the top spot. The man who has been the strongest all race long is Carl Edwards. He's led the most laps so far. Martin Truex Jr. running a good chunk out front. Truex, someone we haven't seen up front much at all this season.
Yeah, this is the last chance for a lot of these guys to shine. Alan, Martin Truex is doing a fantastic job out there. You know, guy Jamie McMurray running third, who's won the Daytona 500, the Brickyard 400, and some other big races, is also running great today. We see this battle heating up a little bit right now between Jimmy Johnson and Kyle Busch. And they've been stabilizing right in that area, not really gaining on much, but they haven't got, Jimmy Johnson hasn't let him get away at all.
Jeff Burton not on the lead lap. Remember, he had that long pit stop a little while ago. He's trying to find a way to keep himself as the first car a lap down. So even though he's going by Denny Hamlin there, that's not costing Hamlin a position in the running order of the race yet. If Burton gets a caution and comes around, that's another guy that 11 team has to worry about taking some points from him till they get that thing handling better.
All right, smart move by Denny Hamlin, not trying to race him too hard. But up front, Carl Edwards has checked out by almost a second. He's doing a good job maintaining pace. Looks like he is obviously the guy to beat.
And you know what, Brad? A lot of people expected to see Carl Edwards check out. I mean, he's got a lot of momentum on his side. He's really good at his 1.5-mile tracks. And last week he did win the race in Phoenix. Yeah. He told me, he said, man, this is one of the fastest cars I've ever had. And he doesn't have to worry about a championship. Let those other guys do that. He just wants a win.
Carl Edwards, the 2008 winner of this season finale at the Homestead Miami Speedway. As Rusty said, he won last Sunday in Phoenix, riding a little hot streak here, trying to finish off 2010 in the finest style possible.
BCS Countdown, the exclusive unveiling of the new BCS rankings. Find out who's in the driver's seat, who's poised to be this year's BCS Buster. Our coverage of the BCS Countdown presented by Tostitos begins ESPN Sunday, 6 Eastern, continues at 8:15 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPNU.com. And welcome back here to the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Ford 400 at Homestead, Miami. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. And we've seen a trend develop. You're looking at the new race leader, Martin Truex, and about 30 laps into the run. Remember last time, Carl Edwards sort of slowed down. Well, here's what happened again.
You see Martin Truex taking advantage of that, going by on the high side, and has now opened up almost a second lead over Carl Edwards.
Our longest green flag run the last time here, or at this time, was 71 laps. Much longer than last night's nationwide race. Our longest run there was 32. Jamie, what's the latest on the 56?
Well, about 1 lap before he took the lead, he came on the radio and he told the guys, all right, the car starts off tight, but guys, it's good, and I'm going to the front. this happy in his race car in a long time. He said this car is good. They want to win this thing, guys. The best finish this year was 5th. And, oh, by the way, he hasn't won in over 3 years.
Yeah, that's why he's happy. It's been 130 races since his only Cup win back at Dover in June of 2006.
Yeah, he's got a great chance to stop that today because he's got a really fast race car.
Now, a couple of cars going in different directions. Our pole sitter, the 83, Casey Kane. He started on the pole and has now dropped back to the 14th position. What's going on there, Doc?
Yeah, Marty, he was 5th when he came in the pit a little bit ago, and all Jimmy Elvey and the crew did was a quarter-round track bar adjustment and a minor air pressure change. Casey went out, and 2 laps later, his words were, wow, this thing is so loose, I can't drive it. I can't get in. I can't get the throttle and get off. Now, we've got some significant cloud cover we didn't have before, and the wind has picked up. And Casey said, whatever you guys did, you have to change it back. Again, we just made a minor adjustment. He said, I've got no race car here. I'm hanging on. And I spit on the track.
We certainly do. As you see, Marcus Ambrose has turned it around out of the exit of turn 4. So we now have our 4th caution. He was running 22nd.
Take it easy, try to tear the fenders off of him.
That's a big break for Jeff Burton. He's sitting in that lucky dog spot.
Yeah, and a bigger break for Denny Hamlin. Maybe they'll come in and work on this race car, get some things done to that splitter. At least try to make an effort now. They're not having to worry too much about track position.
It will be the 31 of Burton.
I mean, I need a little grip off of 4, but that's really about it.
As we mentioned as we were listening to the radio, the 31 gets the Aaron's lucky dog, so Jeff Burton gets back on the lead lap after that horrendous pit stop last time around. Speaking of last pit stops, Tony Stewart, remember, he got the last lucky dog? He is right now running in the 13th position. Here's what happened.
Yeah, just for running that high line, got back in the throttle, got away from him. Pretty fortunate not to hit anything right there.
You don't know how many cars are right on the verge of doing that every lap off that corner.
Yeah. And right now you see that left rear trying to keep it from tearing the fender apart.
Yeah, he's trying to stay on the lead lap. He's just going to have to give it up here, try to make it in without tearing the car up.
Hey, Jimmy Johnson had fallen back too. You know, we'd seen earlier where he was up trying to pass Kyle Busch for that spot, but he had fallen back probably about a quarter of a straightaway from Kyle Busch. So sure, they'll be making some adjustments on the 48 car also.
Jimmy will be coming in the 8th position. Harvick, of course, the best of the 3 right now, coming in 5th. All right, let's send it down to Jamie Little.
It has come time for this 11 team to work on that front nose. They're going to work on the splitter on the right front. They said take your time, get it right, take the braces off, put a new brace on, put the track bar down 1 round. Mike Ford said when it's time to leave, it's time to leave. Worst case scenario, we have to pit again. Dave?
Jimmy Johnson called that one of the better runs of our day. Chad said they're beating you because they're running the top. No adjustments to the car. Jimmy may have to adjust his line, Vince.
A really good run for the 1 car. He likes it. He says it's just a little loose off 4, so they're going to make a slight air pressure adjustment in both right side tires. Doc?
Track getting better and better for Kevin Harvick. He said no changes, guy, but pack it full of fuel. 4 tires, cars going by. Kevin slips out behind Casey Kane.
And a logjam coming off pit road. Here is the race off, and you can see Kevin Harvick's crew does it again, picks him up 2 more spots. Johnson's crew comes through this time, giving him 4 better. And of course, Denny Hamlin's team still in there as they are going to have to make those repairs. So we'll step aside quickly. We'll reset it when we come back to the Ford 400 here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Back here at Homestead Miami Speedway, you're looking at the number 11 of Denny Hamlin. He will restart in 24th position. The team did the job, got the repair done on that right front splitter. Now he has dropped to 3rd in the points right now. And our current point leader had a spectacular pit stop. And here's the reason why. What a half a second difference means is right here. Show them, guys.
Yeah, you can see right here, they're making a great pit stop. You've seen a little bit of a hiccup for them in the pits today, but this is a real good pit stop at the right time. Watch this group of cars coming out right at the same time. He gets out just in front. And watch this.
It'll get worse yet. He made it through.
Getting ready to go back to green flag racing with Truex, Edwards, Harvick, and Johnson side by side. Uh-oh, Harvick slides over in front of the 43 Allmendinger. That could have been trouble.
Harvick's racing aggressive today. You tell he's got nothing to lose.
Yeah, gets back to the throttle. battling Jimmy Johnson for that third spot.
Oh, look at this. Kyle Busch. We saw that move last night in the Nationwide race and Friday in the trucks. Oh, no, and Joey Logano gets turned around and damaged on the front end of the 20. And quickly we have another caution.
That's good. We're junked up pretty good here. Radiator, at least, pretty bad.
So that great streak of finishes that Joey has had is going to come to an end here.
It looks like he's gotten turned into the outside wall, maybe.
4 cars that did take advantage of the wave around are going to get a break here. Blaney, Quapple, Lally, and Conway. So let's go back and show you now. Right side of your screen.
Yeah, 3 wide got forced over. And
ooh, it looked like he got turned. Pablo Montoya.
Yeah, it looked like Clint Boyer actually came up on Logano to force him over a little bit.
Like Bill Elliott caught a piece of that.
Now, you want to be Denny Hamlin and have your heart stop for a second? Here's his view.
Yeah, no, I can't. I said Boyer did. I see right there, Boyer didn't do anything. Joey looked like he just maybe misjudged that.
Well, he was running 19th. He's at top 7 finishes in his last 5 races. Scored the 4th best amount of points here in the 9 chase races. And right now, there you see the 2 that are first and second in the points as it stands right now. As we go to break, one more view from Denny Hamlin. Joey Logano hits the wall. To decide the NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship here at Homestead Miami Speedway, it's Carl Edwards, Martin Truex up front, Jimmy Johnson third, Kevin Harvick fourth. Let's listen to Harvick's radio.
Here's a trivia question for you. Who's second in the points right now? Checo. 2-9.
And that's points as of now. And as you can tell, these guys are keeping track of all those positions. We're back to green flag racing.
Harvick with a good restart right there, seeing pushing Martin Truex down to turn 1.
Side by side. 3 wide now. Here comes Jimmy. Kyle Busch again. Kyle trying to make the triple one more time. He did it earlier this year at Bristol. And he moves into the 3rd spot. And boy, he got a little close again to the 29. They've had a few little minor.
Here comes Harvick back to the inside, though.
Harvick down the front straightaway. At the stripe, he has the position officially. Jimmy's got the best seat in the house, and you're riding on board with him.
I don't know if that's going to be the best seat until they settle this little argument they're having.
Battle for the race lead. Carl Edwards, Martin Truex, they're trying to check out on everybody that's going too wide behind them.
Harvick had made the pass, and Kyle put the crossover move back on him. See if Harvick comes back to the inside again.
Ryan Newman right behind Harvick. He's side by side with Jimmy Johnson. Behind them, it's A.J. Allmendinger, Jamie McMurray. Our race leader, if you're just tuning in, we're at the top of the hour. Carl Edwards. Points leader, Jimmy Johnson, right now is running 5th. And the highest running chaser is Carl Edwards. Our lowest is Jeff Gordon, who's down a cylinder. He is 2 laps down in 36th.
Total. Jimmy Johnson battling hard here. That's 5 points he doesn't want to lose right now.
Side by side, these two going after each other. Remember, neither Harvick nor Johnson have led in this race. Martin Truex has led a total of 40 laps. Carl Edwards has led 98 of them.
Martin Truex back out there to release some more now.
Between the 2 of them, they've led all but 8 laps today. Like I said, they're trying to make it their own party. They have opened up a full second already over 2nd and 3rd.
The last few runs has taken a few laps for the 56 to get going, but it looks like he's got it going right off the start this time.
Denny Hamlin trying to fight his way back, and he's picked up a couple of spots, guys. He's picked up to 16th, 5 spots from where he restarted.
Yeah, still just kind of going on that bottom side of the racetrack most of the time, even though he goes in high this time. He's just trying to find anything that'll work with this race car.
And here comes Jeff Burton on the right side. That's Kevin Harvick's teammate, knocking Hamlin back a spot. Remember, Burton was a lap down, and on the left side, you got Carl Edwards again with Martin Truex.
Truex Truex with a big run on the outside coming out of turn 2.
They're doing all this side-by-side racing and driving away from the field.
Yeah, normally that's not the case. Boy, look how high Truex is. Rim riding. Side by side here. They come by the stripe again. This time it'll be Truex at the stripe with the official lead. Total of 16 lead changes now between 7 different drivers. And while all this is going on, here comes Truex back again. Let's check in with Vince. He's caught up with Joey Logano.
Well, Logano had been one of the hottest drivers on the circuit with 3 straight top 5s, but right now he's got a torn-up race car. What happened, Joey?
Hard to say. I haven't really got a good view on it to see what happened, but I don't know. 42 got loose in the center to turn right on the restart there, and kind of put us straight wide. The 33 on the inside, and I don't know. I gave him plenty of room. I felt like I just got hooked. I don't know what his deal is, but that's twice this year with him, and I'm about sick of that.
Joey Logano, frustrated, guys. They're going to try to get it back out here before the end, though.
And he's had 3 DNFs this year, all because of crashes, and finished 3rd last week, but it's not going to happen today. But you heard him say they'll try and get back out. Denny Hamlin right now. Here comes Jimmy Johnson as we change the coverage because he's got his hands full with Jamie McMurray and Ryan Newman.
McMurray actually came up past both of these cars. We're trying to clear Johnson right now.
McMurray shown in the 5th spot, Newman 6th, Jimmy 7th. They're all duking it out, 3 wide coming down. Now Jimmy pulls in behind.
So just behind this group, A.J. Allmendinger got really loose up in turns 1 and 2. Denny Hamlin was in that group.
And there is the A.J. Allmendinger, and we heard that A.J. hit the wall when he got that loose. He was 9th at the time. Hamlin, he is right now shown in 16th, so he's dropped back that far. Let's go back to Greg Biffle's onboard and watch what happens with the. Yeah, he did tap it more than once.
I think his teammate Eric Almirola might have been involved in that a little bit.
So he has fallen back now to the 17th position. Battle for 5th right now between McMurray and Newman. And you see Jimmy Johnson's lost contact with that group. Newman's going to try down low. They're side by side through the corner. Coming out of 2 down the backstretch. Let's get an update on the 48. Dave Burns.
Well, Jimmy was hoping he had that pass earlier on Ryan Newman, a corporate teammate. Newman's team getting chassis and motors from the Hendrick group, but he couldn't get around him. He was a little upset about that. But Jimmy's not running the high line to get around any of these guys. He did in the first practice when he was in mock qualifying trim, but in final practice, he had trouble running the low line. So the middle was where he ran best. Guys, I think he could run the high line if he wanted to. He just hasn't pushed that button yet, staying very much in the middle of the corners on either end.
Falls back in line right now as he continues to run in the 7th position. He still controls his own destiny as long as he stays in front of Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick where they are right now. You saw where the points are here at the Ford 400 with Martin Truex leading with 112 to go.
Is brought to you by Silver Star Ultra Headlights from Sylvania. See farther, see wider, see better. And Nationwide Insurance. Enter this code at CodeSpotter.com for a chance to win a Roush Ford Mustang.
Not a whole lot of folks out on the beach, but there are a whole lot of folks watching the Ford 400 at the Homestead Miami Speedway just south of South Beach, and they're watching New Jersey native Martin Truex Jr. lead at what's been his best track statistically on the NASCAR Sprint Cup circuit. 4 straight top 10s here, an average finish of 11. You see he's had a very solid run all day long after the 56 took the green flag today in 25th position and marched his way forward. As for the championship contenders with 105 laps to go, Denny Hamlin is running back in 15th position. That's exactly where he restarted just a little while ago with 124 to go. You, Rusty, were watching Denny Hamlin and thinking he's just not getting it done right now.
He's just not getting it done right now, Alan. He needs to work in that car some more. They need a caution flag. They need to spend the time to come down and check the toe in on the right front corner where he had that damage. Also, the right front fender is still sticking out too far. They've got to get that thing under control and take some time and work on this car. I believe he can get the thing back on track, get the speed back out of it, but they need to be patient and work on it. The right front corner is the corner that's causing all the problem on this car right now.
And their laps are running out to continue to be patient on this championship. Meanwhile, Jimmie Johnson has slipped back a little bit since caution is out. 7 car is in some trouble. That is Kevin Conway, who has gone for a loop. And this is yellow flag number 6 in this race with 104 laps to go. Well, here's the opportunity for Hamlin and the 11 team to work on it some more.
Oh, absolutely. This is perfect for Hamlin now. Now they need to get this thing down in there, work on it, spend some time. This is, in my opinion, one of their last shots. They're going to run out of time getting to the front unless they fix this car right now.
Quick other couple of points about the championship guys. Ray, 48 car, Jimmie Johnson. He slipped back in this last run.
Yeah, but I think that might have been a little bit intentional. That's where that experience comes in. He had his eye on Kevin Harvick, knew how fast he was, but he also had his eye or his ear listening to Chad Knaus tell him where Denny Hamlin was. Denny Hamlin and the 11 car are struggling, like Rusty says. So right now we'll see if they fix that car, because if they get it going faster, then Jimmy's going to have to go faster. But right now he's riding in that comfortable rocking chair.
And Big Brad, the pit stops that we're going to see under this caution, another opportunity for Kevin Harvick's team.
This plays right into Kevin Harvick and Gil Martin's hands, getting this pit stop opportunity. They've got a really good race car, put themselves in a great position. If they can get a good pit stop here, get her tightened up just a little bit more, Kevin Harvick could get out close to the front and possibly lead some laps, really putting a lot of pressure on Jimmie Johnson.
Let's just leave that wedge out of it, Gil. Let's leave the wedge out. Let's just leave it like it is.
10-4. No changes.
All right, so the one thing that will change are the 4 tires and the amount of fuel in the tank as the cars get ready to come to pit road. The stops will come with 102 laps to go, and let's begin with Jamie.
And Denny Hamlin saying he's way too loose still. The last round of stops helped him 50%. They're going to take a big swing at it here, although they will leave the splitter alone. Wedge adjustment, air pressure adjustment, track bar down. Try to tighten this car up, Dave.
Running 7th, a bit free on the high side. Air pressure adjustment for that. 4 tires and Sunoco fuel. Vince?
The 18 of Kyle Busch, he started 30th, he's up to 3rd. He said he needs it to turn just a little bit better at the start of the run. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment with 4 tires. Doc?
And you heard Kevin Harvick call off the wedge adjustment, said I can't roll the center and I'm loose off, and I don't want wedge. And he is down and away. They scramble off now 2 wide, 3 wide off the road.
Another tough stop for Jimmie Johnson's team, knocking him back out of the top 10 as we check the fastest out of the pits. And so Johnson is going to lose a little more ground on pit road. We're under caution for the 6th time after Kevin Conway, running in 37th position, went for a loop around. And that is what has put us under the yellow flag.
You sure you got enough time for all that? Okay.
The 11 car had the 2nd fastest stop on pit road.
The drama continues to build here in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup between the 3. You aren't going to believe this. Look at it. The points leader right now, based on where they're going to restart, Denny Hamlin. Harvick's only 5 back. Jimmie Johnson, 7 back. They're going to restart 3rd for Harvick, 12th for Jimmie, 13th for Hamlin, and here's the problem for Jimmie Johnson again.
Yeah, on the right front, it looks like they didn't get all the lug nuts off on the 1st round. That cost them a ton of time. One of the worst things you can do on a pit stop is leave one of those lug nuts hanging.
Here are the times. You can see how they gained. 2 spots for Denny, 1 for Kevin, and -5 for Jimmie Johnson. Up front, it is Carl Edwards and Kyle Busch. Edwards has the high side on the restart. Harvick 3rd, Truex 4th, Newman. That's your top 5. We're green again with 100 to go.
This might be the best opportunity Harvick's going to have. Try to get 5 points.
Jimmie Johnson's the only one that has picked up the 5 bonus points for leading a lap. None of the chase contenders can lead the most laps today.
Jimmie back there in the middle of 3 wide.
Side by side, Kyle Busch looking to take home the triple once again after winning the truck race and the nationwide race.
Boy, Jimmie Johnson really slid up.
There he is with Jeff Burton and Clint Bowyer underneath him. 3 wide as they come into 1.
Yeah, and Hamlin in front of this. We have to see. They made a big swing at the chassis on this 11 car. See if it's aero or if it is the chassis.
Jimmy in a log jam back there. Carl Edwards has moved out about 3-4 car lengths in front of Kyle Busch. There you see Kevin Harvick with Martin Truex going around him on the high side.
Yeah, I'm seeing some speed out of this 11 car that I haven't been able to see up until this point.
There's the 48 going underneath Clint Boyer. Right now, Jimmy Johnson back in 13th position. And he is surrounded by RCR. Richard Childress Racing outside of him and right behind him, and Boyer and Burton. Here comes Brad Keselowski and David Reagan to get into that mix as well.
That was big for Jimmy Johnson right there to get him stay in front of those 2 Childress cars, get himself a little clean air and a little breathing room.
4 wide, a little bit further back. That calms down quickly. Regan Smith, Mark Martin there. Tony Stewart, you see him going through the screen. Remember when he was a lap down? All of a sudden, let's check in on the battle for 3rd position because Kevin Harvick now side by side. And can he get the spot? Right now, it still belongs to the 18 of Kyle Busch.
Yeah, they got a great battle. Guys, I'm telling you, this 11 car is a lot better right now. I don't know how long it may last. They may have got him tightened up too much and they go to pushing after a little while, but he's really making a big push going forward.
Hamlin's up to the 9th position right now. And there he is, breathing down the 39 of Ryan Newman.
Now he can really drive it down in the corner. It's something he hasn't been able to do all day.
Yeah, great point, Andy. That's where he's really been struggling getting beat.
It's coming up on Tony Stewart. Back on lap 102 was when Tony got the wave around. And here he is back into the top 7. And look who the biggest mover is since the restart. So the change they made may make Mike Ford a hero right now in the eyes of his driver. Hamlin cleared the 39 pretty easily. There's the 48 on the right side of your screen. 3 cars behind. And Jimmy knows what he has to do. He's got to pick up his pit crew because his pit crew has let him down today. He's side by side for the moment with Almirola, then tucks in behind.
Yeah, well, Jimmy knows this scenario that won't work for him to get this 5th championship. If he can see that 11 car, that's not a good sign.
He's got to go get him. And now he still has Newman in between he and David Hamlin. Let's get an update on the 48, Dave.
Might remember when the 48 team was replaced at Texas. Part of the reason was Jimmy Johnson speaking up on the radio. Here was his response after that loss of spots on pit road.
Come on, guys. Stay on our toes in there. I need you bad.
Poor man, they got your back.
Chad trying to encourage his driver. The crew refocusing and trying to make these last stops their best stops.
Well, and the truth of the matter is there's nobody left to change to. They got to ride this horse.
Yeah, they have what they have now. A lot of pressure on that pit crew down there to make these stops in this situation.
Tony Stewart, you saw him there trying to get underneath the 18 of Kyle Busch, and Denny Hamlin right behind those 2.
Can't believe Stewart's rebound in this race. He was way down. He was a lap down at one point.
Yeah, the car looked like it was...
Whoa, he slid right up in front of Kyle Busch.
Yeah, I thought Kyle Busch looked like, he restarted there, took the lead early in this run. Looked like he was going to be something, a factor, because he had gone up to 3rd the last time.
Well, Stewart is now in the 6th spot. Kyle is 7th. Denny Hamlin is 8th. There's 91 laps to go to decide the Sprint Cup Championship. Carl Edwards is winning the race. Oh, but the championship's not decided yet. The fastest pit crew of the year awards wrapped up, and the fans selected the 24 team as the winner. Now that's the team that went beyond the call of duty, jumped in to help the 48 team these last few weeks. In honor of the 24's accomplishments, AT&T's donated $25,000 to Victory Junction. Congratulations, the AT&T fastest pit crew of the year, brought to you by AT&T. Back here, the drama continues to build. The championship, the ebb and the flow. There is Jimmy Johnson. Right now he is running in 9th. Ryan Newman on the high side along with Eric Almirola and Greg Biffle coming back. There's Jeff Burton. Remember when Burton... Oh, and he just hit the wall. Burton hit the wall. And he is slowing. And there's a
parts and
brake pad.
pieces coming off of it too. Yep. So he hits that access road.
Oh,
can't
hang
quite
on.
hold it there.
And he may go back out onto the track if he's not careful. He was 13th at the time. He was a lap down.
When you come out, stay on
Okay, there were some parts that flew off of that car going down the straightaway.
Yeah, I'd have to say NASCAR's taking a good look at this.
There's Denny Hamlin with teammate Kyle Busch. Hamlin in 7th. Busch right ahead of him in 6th.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin's still moving forward, making this car work now.
You see the points right on the top of the screen as they run right now. And Hamlin, boy, the changes that Mike Ford made finally connect this car to the track, and Hamlin is moving forward.
Oh, gosh, what the emotions that Denny Hamlin's been through today. Thinking that he might have cost himself a championship. Seeing the 48 up running in the top 5. You see Burton trying to head to pit road now.
All right, let's go back and show you again on the 31.
Yeah, he's sliding. Yeah, and he catches the concrete part of that wall right where that safer barrier ends.
He did make it back to pit road, but a tough break for the 31 after getting back on the lead lap and fighting all the way back to 13th position. Had a fast race car. Right now up front, Carl Edwards has got himself a fast race car, but he and Martin Truex, boy, they've dominated the laps led department. But the guy that's on the move, Denny Hamlin, he's now currently in 6th.
Another guy on the move is Kevin Harvick. He's the fastest car on the racetrack last lap, running 3rd.
Let's get an update on the 11, Jamie Little.
Talk about a range of emotions. Everybody in this 11 camp has been applauding every time Denny Hamlin passes a car. Guys, caution is out. There is debris on the racetrack.
So that will be our 7th caution of the day. We had 11 last night in the nationwide race. You saw Joe Gibbs on the left side of the screen. He'll be hoping for another birthday present a little bit early. He's going to turn 70 Thanksgiving Day.
Actually glad to see that caution flag fly. I saw a bunch of parts coming off of Jeff Burton's car. The last thing we want to see is some of that impact this championship.
And we can tell you Burton did take it directly to the garage. The 88 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. will get the lucky 9 cars back on the lead lap. And right now, Denny Hamlin finds himself back in the catbird seat. He'll come in on this caution in 6th position, 3 ahead of Jimmy Johnson, but 3 behind Kevin Harvick. And you can see the effect on the points right at the top of your screen.
Yeah, and as long as we keep that many cars on the lead lap, this is literally going down to the last lap. Anything as we have seen can happen.
And it's keeping a lot of pressure on these pit crews for these stops, because that's really what's really changing things is the pit crews doing the job and maybe not doing it down on pit road.
And you heard Jimmy Johnson on the radio, guys, I need you. He has had horrendous stops today for the most part.
Yeah, and we saw the 11 crew have a great stop the last time, and Denny Hamlin's been having to come in around the 9 car. This time he's in front. He'll have a clear shot in.
Denny pits right towards pit in. The others are further down. Let's send it to Jamie Little because Denny's coming into you first.
Last round of pit stops, they took a big swing at it. They're going to do that again. Denny said that helped him 75%. He started off tight, but he freed up. They need to tighten up just a bit more. Wedge, air pressure. Let's go to Dave.
Quarter round down in the track bar, a little free on the high line near the end of the run. See if the crew can get it this time. Looks pretty good coming around to the left side, Doc.
Bottom of your screen, Kevin Harvick's crew. They've gained him 5 positions the last 3 stops. And Harvick, by the way, as Andy said, quickest car on the racetrack, 7 of the last 8 laps before the yellow flag. Harvick down and away.
And the race off pit road, Kevin Harvick. Look at
Good job,
this.
guys.
This crew has been stellar today, picking up spots for him time after time. You see Truex comes out in 2nd. Carl loses 2.
Now you see Hamlin had just a little bit of a slow stop.
Yeah,
but man, Harvick's team really stepping it up for him. Going to get him 5 bonus points here.
So you're looking at the race leader. It's going to pick up those 5 big bonus points. Oh, this is getting good. The drama continues to unfold here at Homestead Miami Speedway, and it's bad news for Kevin Harvick. Too fast entering pit road, and it is a huge penalty because you're talking about he's going to have to go back to the back of this field to restart here, and it's the 4th pit road penalty of the chase for the 29. Right now, they are still appealing to NASCAR, and Kevin's saying there's no way I was too fast coming in. What'd you expect?
We got ways of measuring the speed down pit road, at least the driver's time total. As you can see right there, his driver time was a few tenths of a second faster than Hamlin's.
Now, there is also an incident as he was exiting pit road. Watch the tire changer for Kasey Kahne.
And Kevin Harvick's having to come around Kasey Kahne's crew is just as they're finishing up on the right side. See that right rear tire changer right there just gets hit by the left rear corner of the 29.
We'll get an update on his condition as soon as we can. And Doc, what's the word?
Well, that is Chuck Efall, who is the rear tire changer and the medical cruiser here. They put him on a stretcher. They're going to care center, and I've got to believe they're going to take him in for x-rays. It's his right lower leg and right ankle that was caught when the 29 car was exiting. He got the contact from Kevin Harvick. So he went down, had not been able to put any weight on the right leg. They will take him to the medical center and probably transport him for x-rays to take a look at that right lower leg and right ankle. Chuck Efall, the rear tire changer for Kasey Kahne.
All right, Doc, thanks for the update. And you can see he's talking to everybody, but we'll wish the best for him. And a tough break for Chuck on the crew. All right, let's listen to the 29 radio.
What? No way we were too fast entering. I came in on the 56. We were behind 2 cars on their donkey coming in. You check it, Billy. I just don't think that's right.
Well, you saw him pulling to the back of the field. He will not get credit for leading those laps, which means no 5 bonus points.
Got to show them what you're made of here.
Here is Gil Martin's reaction when the penalty was called.
Yeah, this is electronically timed, so it's not a subjective type penalty. It's just a big, tough break for this team, man.
Yes. Very unfortunate. Let's reset it for you. It is Truex up front. Edwards, Kenseth is 3rd. Stewart, McMurray. Jimmy Johnson restarts 8th. And all the way back in 29th is Kevin Harvick. We're green. Denny Hamlin in the 7th position as they go through turn number 1. Boy, look at Truex and Edwards. They have owned the front row all day today. There's Harvick. He's got a lot of work to do, and he's got 75 laps to do it. Jimmy Johnson trying to make a move on the 11. The points at the top of the screen shows you exactly where everybody is right now.
Well, Hamlin's in a bad spot here right now.
He's got Clint Boyer on his inside, and Jimmy has pulled away from him.
They made another adjustment on this 11 car. David Reagan. Oh, I'm sorry, Elliott Sadler into the wall.
Yeah, he scraped it along the wall, but he's still under power. No yellow. We stay green. Up front, it is Carl Edwards. Jimmy Johnson a little bit further back. Johnson now running in the 6th
got
position.
Car in the wall up here in 3 and 4.
Yep. They're just scraping along the wall all the time. And here comes the yellow. The 38 of Dave Blaney hits the wall. And that brings out our 8th caution. Now that actually helps Harvick a little bit. He picked up 4 spots.
And he might even come in and get tires again right here since he's at the back.
And notice again that Jimmy Johnson is back in the points lead with where they start right now. All right, let's listen to Kevin's radio again.
He came all the way down here for an end of the show thing, and this is how he did it. Great. There's no way, Gil. There is absolutely no way you can go from 49.6, 49.4 to 49.1 to a 50-point something. I mean, that's just them doing what they do best.
Well, I mean, this is just a pit road speed that they time electronically. They give everybody a 5-mile-per-hour buffer, but everybody takes full advantage of that, so it really does come down to just a 1/10 of a mile an hour.
Marcus Ambrose will get the lucky dog. That will give us a total of 32 cars back on the lead lap.
They just need to put this behind them and see what they can do from here. I mean, we're looking at 72 laps to go. Not likely it's going to go green, but he could come in here, get fuel, get tires, and possibly stretch this thing out.
And still way too much that can possibly happen, as we've seen today. Just too many things. Can't give up now. I know it's very, very disappointing. You don't want to make a mistake, and you question NASCAR, but as you said, and it's done electronically, and there's just no really arguing with it.
Well, the hardest challenge, obviously, for Kevin is, unlike Denny Hamlin, who had his incident early in the race with plenty of laps to recover, we've got 72 laps remaining.
Well, we saw these guys last week take an incident on pit road where they left the lug nut off, make something out of it, and get themselves back in position. That's what they need to do again here, Doc.
Exactly, DJ. And Gil Martin is trying to get inside that guy's helmet right now. He understands that Kevin Harvick is frustrated. He's upset. He's angry. He's disappointed. He wanted to get those 5 bonus points. The pit crew has worked so hard to gain 7 spots on pit road, and that speeding penalty blew it all away. Now, what they're going to do now is Gil just called to Richard Childress and said, give me all the 31 car tires. Get them down here. We're going to tire them to death. Every time we get a caution, we're going to come in for 4 fresh Goodyears, keep fresh tires on the car, and let Kevin keep picking them off. We still got plenty of time to get there. Here he comes again. It'll be 4 more tires for the 29 car as he comes in. And again, Kevin Harvick, after that last exchange, has not said a word on the radio. Gil said, we got plenty of time. We'll be able to get there. 4 tires, no changes, no air pressure. This crew has been stellar all day long, and Kevin told the crew, if you can get me up front in clean air, I'll drive away, which is exactly where he was when that speeding penalty was offered by NASCAR. He is now down and away.
Well, just remember, it took Denny Hamlin only 21 laps to go from 37th to 18th when he had his problem. Come back to find out what Kevin can do. 69 laps to go here at Homestead. It's Edwards, Kenseth up front, Truex, Stewart, Kyle Busch, Jimmy Johnson restarts 6th. Hamlin 11th. Kevin Harvick restarts 23rd.
Oh, 56 got a problem.
Oh, he's real loose.
He looks like he may have a tire down.
He does.
A tough break for Martin Truex. He has been one of the two.
Come on, guys.
He's been one of the 2 best cars all day long. He's led 62 laps.
That's why we're telling you can't go away. That something like that could happen to one of our chase contenders here.
Right side of the gas, guys, come on.
That was the radio on Truex. They're trying to get him back to pit road. It's Edwards now with Matt Kenseth, who has moved up to his best spot in today's race.
Yeah, I guess his alarm clock finally went off. It's time to go.
So the points continue to keep changing as the teams keep shifting positions.
Somebody else in the wall there.
Kurt Busch.
He's 12th time today.
He has been living up there. Look at this, 3 wide. There's Juan Pablo Montoya down low. Scott Speed. He's been one recipient of the lucky dog today. Meanwhile, up front, it is Jack Roush Racing, the Roush Fenway Fords, 1 and 2, and they've won 5 of the last 6 races here. Here comes Jimmy Johnson. He's going to make it 3 wide. Getting around Jamie McMurray.
Well, Champ's decided it's time to go.
Right behind him, you've got Clint Boyer.
Gordon just blew up on the front stretch.
Big puff of smoke from the 24 down the front stretch. Yeah, and the caution is going to fly. It'll be our 9th caution today.
We're done, Dickerson. Yeah.
What a way to end the year for Jeff Gordon. Since his last victory, he has finished second 8 times.
All right, buddy. That's not how we wanted to end the year, but I appreciate it. It's been a fun year. Wish we could have got you some more results for your efforts. All you boys been trying hard all year.
Steve Letarte on the radio.
These are the kind of things that did not go our way this year, man. Just wasn't meant to be. We're going to work hard and try to get them next year.
Already thinking about next year. The 4-time champion. Let's go back and show you what happened to the 2-car.
Okay, you see,
the 9 got loose.
Everybody, same thing happened to him the first of the race.
Yeah, battle the beer wagons, and it hasn't gone well for Kurt either time.
I was obviously joking about 12 times, but he has been in the wall a number of times. He's almost down to the foam on the right side of that thing. He's about through the sheet metal.
You know, that break for the 24, that'll be the first engine DNF this year for Hendrick Motorsports. Now, here's the restart. Watch what happens to Jimmy Johnson and everybody else. Jimmy just gets by the 56.
Did he get by? Did he get some contact there?
I can't tell. Here's the onboard. Let's watch.
Inside. You see him coming back. Inside. 2 wide, 1 wide. Inside. 11 inside.
Truex is 1 lap down right now in 33rd position. Not in the spot to get the lucky dog.
Okay, you got a lot of cars pitting, and it looked like Kevin Harvick stayed out right there, so he's going to gain a lot of track position.
The 11 couldn't decide. He was down and out, and he didn't make it.
Well, and the 11, it sounds like, from what we're hearing, Jamie, did he miss the call?
Yes, he did. It was a last-minute call. Mike Ford said stay out. Then he said pit, pit, pit. And then he said too late. They missed it. He said this won't be bad. It won't hurt us, but it wasn't what they planned.
Yeah, the pressure's on these crew chiefs, and we were talking about this is the kind of calls you got to make on the fly.
A little surprising. They're right on the verge of being able to make it from here.
Yeah, this is right at the outside edge of the window. And it probably is outside of the edge of being able to make it under green. But now we haven't seen any evidence we're going to go green to the end.
Well, and definitely for the Toyota of number 11. We saw what kind of fuel mileage they had last week.
Yeah, this was probably outside of their window.
34, Travis Kvapil will get the lucky dog. That'll put a total of 32 cars back on the lead lap. So Denny will stay out, and we'll reset it for you when we come back as the laps are down to 65 to go here at Homestead Miami. Spins, pit stops, speeding on pit road. Every single one of our chase contenders has had a problem today, and you can see how it has shook up the points. Just 2 points to Denny Hamlin. And Denny Hamlin was supposed to pit. Here was the call. Let's listen in.
Tempo and stay out. Like everyone's coming behind us. Let's come on and get tires. We'll see. Pit. Too late.
Too much indecision right there. I mean, you heard him say first to stay out, then to pit, then, just too much indecision for Denny to be able to follow it.
Back to green flag racing with Carl Edwards jumping out in front again ahead of Matt Kenseth, Kyle Busch, Tony Stewart, and Ryan Newman. Jimmy Johnson restarts 6th. Hamlin 9th. Harvick is back up to 11th. Remember on lap 192 he was 29th after the penalty.
They're right on Denny Hamlin's bumper, maybe inside.
Here we go. 2 contenders side by side into the corner. It's David Reagan right in front of the 11. That may slow him down, maybe opening the door for the 29. Still side by side, down into 1. Harvick on the low side, Hamlin up top. And Harvick still trying to finish the deal and can't get it done.
He has a little fresher tires. See him drive it off in the corner and take that spot away.
Marcus Ambrose also back on the lead lap. On the right side, the battle for the lead. Matt Kenseth. Now those two are duking it out for the 4th position in the points. Matt Kenseth and Carl Edwards. So 5 bonus points for Matt Kenseth in their battle. Harvick finally clears Hamlin over on the left side of your screen, and he's duking it out now with Jamie McMurray for the 8th position. Jimmy Johnson a little bit further forward. That's the battle for 3rd.
See Kyle Busch doing everything he can to help his teammate Denny Hamlin with this situation by trying to stay in front of Jimmy Johnson.
Back there in 5th, you see Tony Stewart, then Ryan Newman, David Reagan, and Jamie McMurray was side by side with Harvick.
Jamie McMurray came off turn 4 sideways and then made the crossover move on Harvick.
Comes Harvick back to the outside, though, getting a big run.
Biggest problem he may have is now Jamie tucks back in. And there is Denny Hamlin, 2 cars behind with now Brad Keselowski coming up on him. This is one of Brad's better runs here in Sprint Cup action. He's in the 11th spot.
Yeah, one of the problems that Denny's going to have is there's a lot of cars behind him that have new tires.
See Harvick trying to split these two.
That's Reagan down on the low side, Ryan Newman on the high side. Over on the right side of the screen, you still have the battle for 3rd with Kyle Busch in front of Jimmy Johnson, at least for the moment. 58 laps to go. Harvick going way high that time. Kyle comes back on the high side as well. He's side by side. The 48 sticks a nose in front as they go down into 1.
Well, I'll tell you what, Denny Hamlin put a lot of trust in Jamie McMurray right there, sliding right up in front of him.
Newman right in front of Harvick on the left side of your screen with David Reagan in the 6. And now Hamlin's got a mirror full of the number 1, and here comes Keselowski into that mix. Right side of your screen, you got a 3-way battle now for 3rd.
Denny Hamlin's championship hopes are all right there in front of him. He has to pass these cars.
Needs to pick up positions to pick up the points. Hamlin ahead of the 12 of Brad Keselowski, side by side with Reagan.
Jimmy Johnson just couldn't quite get enough room there to slide up in front of Kyle Busch.
Great action right here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Just what we were expecting. The twists and turns I don't think any of us were expecting, but boy, look at this as it continues with Jimmy Johnson trying so hard to get around the 18, and Tony Stewart trying to make it miserable for both of them.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson just got a little bit of an assist there from Tony Stewart, who got up beside of Kyle Busch. That allowed Jimmy to slide up in front.
You see just a little bit further back, there's Kevin Harvick streaking through, and Denny Hamlin has gotten around David Reagan. Well, we mentioned the fact it was a bad end to a long season for Jeff Gordon. Vince has caught up with him.
Well, an engine has Jeff on the sideline, but Jeff, as we watch this action on the track here intently, what kind of track conditions are these guys racing under right now?
Pretty good, you know. It's cooled down a little bit. When that sun goes in and out of the clouds, it definitely changes a little bit, but the wind's been pretty calm and constant, so you know, I found the conditions to be pretty good. You know, I hate it for the DuPont Chevrolet to end the season like this. It's kind of been that kind of year for us. No engine trouble like we had here today all year, but just the little things happening that are keeping us out of Victor Lane, out of the championship hunt. So certainly interested to see how this thing unfolds. It's very exciting, obviously, and looking forward to getting things straightened up for us for next year.
Thanks for your patience, Jeff. Marty?
And as you finish up, Brad Keselowski takes a spot away from Denny Hamlin. Keselowski up to 8th.
Yeah, 4 valuable points right there for Denny Hamlin.
The drama continues to unfold. We have 53 laps to go. The championship is still up for grabs. The chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup on the Now Network. And right now, let's project Jimmy Johnson, the current points leader. He has just moved into 2nd place. I think he wants to keep his green. What do you think?
Yeah, you think? I'll tell you what. I probably underestimated Jimmy Johnson. I've talked about how great a race driver he is. He's showing it today.
22 points behind Denny Hamlin right now, and he is on some worn tires. 3rd is Kevin Harvick. He has fought his way back. He's running 6th right now after the speeding penalty, but as you can see, he's still got a long way to go. Race Radio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile at sprint.com/speed. As we come back, our race leader is Carl Edwards. He has led a total of 150 laps. There are 46 remaining. He has clinched the most laps led for the first time in 2010. A little bit further back, Denny Hamlin is in trouble of losing another spot. Eric Almirola is closing fast. He is 9th right now and going in the wrong direction.
What Denny Hamlin needs is a caution flag right now to get things reset, get tires. He should have pitted that last time and got tires. They missed that opportunity. Now he's starting to slide backwards, and there's no way he can win this championship without a caution.
Yeah, these guys coming at him, as you mentioned, Andy, all have fresher tires than he does.
Eric Almirola in that 9 car. He's going to be getting married on December 11th. Let's get an update on the 11. Jamie.
Well, as you can imagine, he's got his fingers crossed, hoping for a caution. He says this car is just too loose, still not drivable, definitely not where he needs to be. And you heard the radio earlier, just relying on his pit crew team saying, guys, I need you. This team needs a caution.
Well, the final green flag stretch of less than 25 laps in 7 of 9 races here. Of the last 9, 7. 25 laps or less. We have 44 to go, so they may get their wish. And like we said, Jimmy Johnson, I don't think he wants to see pit road. They've only had a couple of their stops today that have gone as planned.
Yeah, he wouldn't mind seeing this thing go green. I'll guarantee you he wouldn't mind going down, because Andy mentioned earlier, you can have a little bit of a hiccup on a green flag stop and it not cost you nearly as much.
See, Eric Almirola is pulling away from Denny Hamlin, and Hamlin now in 10th position. And it's costing him points because here comes Biffle. First place, Carl Edwards by 2.4 seconds over the 4-time and defending champion, Jimmie Johnson. He has led 1 lap today for the 5 bonus points. The only one of the 3 chase contenders to do so.
He's a little faster than Carl Edwards leading the race right now.
We've had a total of 8 different leaders today, 20 total lead changes with 9 cautions as we now zoom in on Kevin Harvick. Harvick, after the speeding penalty, was 29th. He has battled his way back to 6th. Doc, what are you hearing?
Kevin is as focused as I've ever heard him. A moment ago, asked about how many laps left. He knows they cannot make it on fuel. He is driving out the windshield, which is a term meaning he is focused on one car at a time. They reminded him that there's a lot of folks watching at home that want to see this team win it. Not only the millions around the country, but back at RCR in Welcome, North Carolina, all 400 employees and their families are in an 18,000 square foot auditorium with big screen television and Chocolate Myers, a legendary gas man, hosting them as they watch our ESPN telecast. They haven't given up. They sent word, and Kevin Harvick hasn't given up on this championship. Far from it yet.
Yeah, I know Chocolate Myers is back there at the shop cheering him on.
And you talk about the worldwide exposure. We had an email earlier this week sent to Jamie Little from England. They're watching in the UK, and it's awfully late over there. We're glad you guys are with us as the laps continue to wind down. 40 to go. The championship still on the line, and the drive for 5 is alive. Kevin Harvick, though, wants to take it away.
ESPN's Monday Night Football. It's battle in the AFC West. Kyle Orton leads the Denver Broncos into San Diego for a matchup with Phillip Rivers and the Chargers. It's Broncos-Chargers on Monday Night Football, 8:30 Eastern. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's. And the drama continues to build as we're down to the final 35 laps of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series season. Denny Hamlin leading the chase, entering this final race. No driver in the chase years has ever lost the championship after leading with 1 race remaining. Right now, Hamlin is behind Jimmie Johnson by 30 points as they run on the track. Hamlin is back in 11th position. Johnson has moved up to 2nd. And this has been the year of the comeback in auto racing with 1 race remaining. John Force in the NHRA Funny Cars, the Formula One Championship, the IndyCar Championship, all won by someone not leading, entering the final race of the season. From the pit studio with Rusty Wallace, Brad Daugherty, and Ray Evernham, got 1 more pit stop still to go, it looks like. And that stop's going to be huge.
That last stop is going to be the money stop. They've got to nail it and get it right. It could be the stop that costs the championship or wins the championship. I mean, it's just an incredible deal. But one thing I'm looking at, guys, I know this is probably thinking outside the box, but those guys that stopped at lap 196, there is an outside chance that they start saving fuel, and they needed to be already doing it, they might make it. Those guys did that last week at Phoenix, Arizona, but the rest of them got to stop. And Kevin Harvick's one of the guys that stopped at 196. I don't know if he's going to try to go for it, but we saw it last week and it worked.
How ironic. I mean, this entire year has been about gaining track position through excellent pit stops. It looks like this race is going to boil down to who can have a flawless stop and get the most out of it. And I'm still a little bit sick to my stomach about Kevin Harvick's situation. It was brewing up to be something tremendous until he made that mistake coming down on pit road.
Oh, agreed. Pit road has been a factor. And as you said, it's not just about the pit stops or things that can go wrong there. It's about the speeding on pit road. And we've seen some guys bump and bang, some close calls, 3 and 4 wide on pit road. That could definitely have a factor in the outcome of this race.
But one thing for Kevin Harvick's pit crew, they've been fantastic. They've been fast as a bullet all day long. They could get them back in the game right here at this very late stages on this last money pit stop.
Love to see it.
They've been quick, very quick.
All of those front runners, like Jimmie Johnson, stopped with 75 to go. And how ironic it could be if this race either runs green or caution to the finish, that this 48 team that struggled on pit road earlier in the chase to the point that they swapped pit crews during the Texas race have struggled on pit road at times today, that their championship could come down to not making a mistake on a final pit stop of the season.
Alan, I was a little concerned. I agree with you about the 48 car, Jimmie Johnson. Let's go back to the 11 car, Denny Hamlin, for just a second. I really think that they needed to stop with 100 to go in that 1 caution and working out right front fender. Brad, that speed, it's just not there in the car. It's back to 11th position right now. He is definitely not advancing himself forward.
Yeah, I think
the 11's coming in.
and it looks like 11 car is going to come down pit road. But you're right, Rusty. You said that with 100 to go. They missed that pit stop. That also hurt them. Didn't give them a chance to get good four fresh tires and maybe work on that fender. It's been tough.
Mike Ford using a good strategy right there. He wants to get his car in early, get his pit stop done, get that adjustment, get the fresh tires on, and that is his shot at gaining back on that 48 car.
So 29 laps to go. Kevin Harvick is in. Here comes Denny Hamlin. Tony Stewart is also in. A critical round of pit stops begin now, Jamie.
Ray, you were exactly right. This car is not set up the way he wants it. It's still loose. Why leave it out there any longer? Continues to lose points. This is the money stop right here. This team has been flawless today on pit road, getting the job done. 4 tires. Let's go on pit road to Doc.
Kevin Harvick's pit crew has gained him 7 positions over 4 pit stops. Kevin made the call. So, guys, let's short pits, do something to win this thing. We got a good race car. He is down and away. Final stop for Harvick. Dave.
Jimmy Johnson said his car was slowly working to the loose side. They'll come into the pit stop. 4 tire change. They may make an adjustment, talking about actually pulling a spring rubber on the left rear. We'll see as Joe Spangler comes around to the left-hand side. See him take off the tire, waiting on the jack now. And he did not. It didn't look like he pulled it, Vince.
It's been another great day for Kyle Busch. Started near the back. He's running up toward the front. They're going to take a pound out of the left rear, some wedge out, and some tape on the front. He's still just a tick tight, Doc.
Final pit stop for the guy who's dominated last week and dominated today. Carl Edwards trying to finish the year on a Ford celebration weekend here with his Ford Fusion. Final stop. Half a round of wedge out for the 99 car. Tear off on the windshield. 4 tires. Well, the tire almost got away. They grabbed it. Good save by the tire carrier. Left side, jack under the car. Got to be flawless here. Final stop. And Carl can maybe win 2 in a row. He's down and away.
Unbelievable. They stopped. They short stopped these cars. They could have run about another 20 laps. They brought him in, get the fresh tires. Pretty key move.
Mark Martin was the leader. Now he gives up the top spot on the cycle of pit stops. Dale Jr., Paul Menard, Scott Speed following him in. 26 laps to go. Casey Kane becomes the race leader as the exchange of stops continues. Here's Martin, Doc.
Mark Martin was hoping the day would be the day. 44 race winless streak would come to an end. The car just been way too tight, having trouble getting it turning, coming up off the corner. He also gets loose. Final stop of the year for the veteran Mark Martin. Left side tires going on. Minor air pressure only. No other changes. He is down.
Right side of the screen, Casey Kane continues to lead as the cycle of pit stops continues on the racetrack. Jimmy Johnson remained ahead of Matt Kenseth, Kevin Harvick, and Kyle Busch as the exchange of pit stops has continued. There you see Harvick racing Kyle Busch for position after they've made their stops.
Oh, Larry Tardine. Oh, man. Is that a misjudgment or was that a turn on purpose? Rusty, what do you think?
Well, it looked like Kevin was trying to dart back underneath them. He had a big run and just didn't quite clear him. It looked like a racing accident to me, but boy, it's
they bumped
awful.
Earlier, though. Remember, they had some...
Makes you
Bring
wonder.
the car to pit road.
Wow.
See, Kevin tried to do that swap over.
10-4.
Wow.
Yeah, you heard Kevin's radio.
So he pulled right in front of him. Wow. Take a look and see what happens here. Kevin's coming off the top of the racetrack. He did. He slid right up. Thought he had him cleared. Kevin gets below him, and woo! I'd say it was incidental, but Kyle's probably not going to feel that way.
And that's what I'm telling Kyle Busch to pull the car over and stop on the racetrack.
Get out of the race car, bud.
So the fire crews can go attend to that.
Comes the fire truck. He's coming to your left.
Bud, you got to get out of it. You got to get out of it, man. You got to get out of it.
Look at that.
All right, there's the fire truck right there.
But it's up front at the motor. You got to get out of it.
All right, he's out, boys. He's out, and he's okay.
So Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick racing for position just after making green flag pit stops. Contact once between the two cars and contact with the wall for Kyle Busch, and the caution is out for the 10th time in this race. Still got 7 cars that hadn't pitted yet in this exchange of stops.
Rusty, what do you see there?
They just got so close, Brad, coming off of turn 4 right there. Kevin had a big head of steam up on the 18 car, tried to dart back underneath and didn't quite clear him, got into his left rear quarter panel, and there we go. Let's take a look from Kevin's in-car.
What you get? Don't give it to a loop. Done told you earlier.
Sonova. Oh, man, he just spun us. He was coming back to protect his position. It looked like Kyle was probably coming back down the racetrack just a second.
Well, I don't know, guys. It's a shame to see cars get tore up like that. But right now, I'm a little bit confused, a little bit concerned. I've been looking at the scoring monitor, and it looks like, as it shakes out, Denny Hamlin is caught a lap down and is not the lucky dog. So we'll have to take a wave around and lost a lot of track position.
What about
Plot Thickets?
Let's ask you, Mr. Championship Crew Chief, what about these other guys? Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick. They just made green flag pit stops. We got 16 cars on the lead lap. Do you stop again and put fresh tires on it?
If I'm Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, no, I do not stop again. Both those guys seem to have cars that are good on long runs. Johnson's car was getting better and better, and you don't want to take a chance on getting it back there. There are not really that many laps left, probably less than 20 laps by the time we go green again.
All right, pit road is going to be open. So certainly Casey Kane and the other 6 cars that haven't made their stops yet will be coming in for tires and some fuel. And then we'll see what the break is behind them with some of those other guys if they do come in. And Hamlin, he's like I said, he's got no choice.
No, he's going to have to take the wave around, which is probably not going to allow him to pit, though, correct?
Right. He does have to stay on the track then.
Correct.
So the plot thickens even more down into the final 22 laps here at Homestead Miami Speedway as we work the 10th caution flag of this race that came out in the middle of a cycle of green flag pit stops and has trapped Denny Hamlin 1 lap down.
Oh, man. Well,
here come the cars who had not stopped yet onto pit road. It looks like Martin Truex is going to be the only one of the guys who had stopped earlier to come in as well, Doc.
Indeed, and Casey Kane comes all the way down to the end of pit road. Today's pole sitter said he wanted to finish the season on a high at 5:30 a.m. Tuesday morning on both of his knees. He said, I'd love to be able to celebrate today prior to the operation on Tuesday. Been struggling, though, with a very, very loose race car, loose in, loose off, down and away for his final stop.
Good fast pit stop, 13.0 for Kane's crew. That's a great job by the Red Bull team. They've really got this car running much better the last couple of races. Grabbed the pole today. I think that's a good way to go out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So that should cycle Carl Edwards up to the front of the pack, and he will resume the lead in this race once again. We've got 20 laps to go. How's it all going to play out? It certainly ended in a bad way for Kyle Busch today.
We are under our 10th caution here after an incident with many people are going to be debating for days between Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch. Actually, Denny Hamlin's down to his lone self because his teammates, Joey Logano's out of this race. He came back out, had a bit of a scuffle with Juan Pablo Montoya during one caution. He's back behind the wall. And, of course, he did take the wave around. It will get him back on the lead lap, but he'll restart 18th. Up front, it'll be Carl Edwards with Jimmy Johnson second, Matt Kenseth third, Kevin Harvick in the 4th position. A total of 14 wave rounds, but the most important one was Hamlin.
Well, Hamlin's not taking it yet. He'll get it when they get the one to go.
Right, and we're waiting for that. Also, Tony Stewart gets the lucky dog, so that gets you caught up on where we're going to be when everybody goes back to green flag racing. Okay, before we do that, let's quickly check in because we caught up with Kyle Busch. Vince.
Well, it's good to see Kyle out after that fiery crash, but Kyle, what was your interpretation of the incident?
I don't know. Harvick pulled a slide job on me earlier in the day, and I crossed over and passed him clean, but apparently it wasn't in the time of day in order to do that. I don't know, but my guys work way too hard to be in this position and fight hard all day long. To be put with a wrecked race car at the end of the year. We wanted to come out here and finish strong. We felt like we had a top 4, top 5 car, and it means so much to me, to those guys, that we come out of here with a good run like we were having, and it's very unfortunate. It's just a guy that doesn't have his head on straight apparently today, and thought everything was good. Talked to him in the in the pre-race and the drivers meeting and all that, but he's such a two-faced guy, it just doesn't matter.
Thanks, Kyle.
Marty.
And of course, Kyle was going for the triple again. He won the truck race, won the nationwide race, but will not win today. All right, let's reset everything for you. And if you are just tuning in for some strange reason you have missed an eventful day, here's what happened early to Denny Hamlin. This looked like it was going to be a lot more serious. They did have damage to the front end, but it could have been a lot worse. He was able to get back and in contention. Problems for Jimmie Johnson again, apparently on pit road. You can see the guys on the pit lane just upset with the performance. And then Kevin Harvick had a couple of taps with the 18, and this was the last one that put the 18 into the wall. And if you listen to that engine, everybody that did noticed that that throttle didn't lift. So there's going to be the debate what that was all about. I'm sure there'll be discussion.
This thing's still nowhere near over.
No way. No way. Do not leave. We have 18 to go. It'll be 17 this time by. Let's reset it again. It's Edwards and Johnson up front. Kenseth and Harvick in row number 2. And then further back, Denny Hamlin restarting in the 18th position. We're back to green flag racing with a total of 28 cars on the lead lap.
Well, Kevin Harvick told us just the other day that he was ready to do whatever it took to win this championship.
He's on the high side right now. That's Kenseth underneath him. Down into the corner. He has cleared Kenseth. Put him into the 3rd position.
See that 9 car up on the high side. That's one of the fastest race cars on the track also. Have to keep an eye on him.
Aric Almirola. He gets around. Whoop, a little tap right there with Kenseth.
A little bit of contact there.
Further back, A.J. Allmendinger trying to get back into position. He's dropped back after his car lost handling. Meanwhile, there's Harvick. Here comes Kenseth and the 9.
See, Harvick's lost contact. Jimmie Johnson is stretched out in front of him up in 2nd spot.
And he's trying to run down that 99 car, too.
Here we go. Let's try 3 wide as you've got the 39, Ryan Newman. He's right in the middle of all this. And, whoa, he slides up right in front of Almirola. That could have been a disaster. Let's go back and check in on the 11 of Denny Hamlin. He is now back in 21st position. And let's see what happens here as we're on board with Mark Martin.
Outside, buddy. 3 wide.
A little bit of a tap there for
Mark
Mark Martin.
Back to 2, 98 outside.
He got out of the throttle a little sooner than what Mark did getting down into turn 3.
Side by side now with Scott Speed. That's Paul Menard right in front of him. Of course, Menard will be going over to RCR next year. It'll become a 4-car effort. Denny Hamlin right now still trying to figure out a way to get back into this mix. You see the points at the top of the screen. He is running out of laps. 14 to go. And you're wondering where Jimmy is? Just look towards the front of the field. He has fought back through the adversity of slow pit stops again and driven back to 2nd place. Kevin Harvick is 3rd. There's nothing Harvick can do unless something happens to Johnson. 3 wide behind him. There's the 43 of A.J. Allmendinger, and what a job this guy has done with the adversity of Richard Petty Motorsports. They find out their future tomorrow. More 3 wide, and guess where Kurt Busch is? Right up against the wall.
Martin Truex, who had, if not the fastest, the 2nd fastest car here for most of the day, unfortunately had a flat tire earlier, has gotten back on the lead lap.
Truex is 13th right now. He's really rallied back. He led a total of 62 laps. That's the 2nd most. Carl Edwards has led the most, 178 and counting. With 12 laps to go, battle for 3rd right now. You've got Kevin Harvick, Aric Almirola, Ryan Newman. Those guys running together.
I'm watching this 43 of A.J. Allmendinger down there on the inside. He is digging now. He just made a 3 wide pass to get up to Ryan Newman's bumper.
He's doing it diving in the corner hard on the bottom. See right here, he just makes a big move to the bottom.
Right now, everything is in Jimmie Johnson's hands because Kevin Harvick can't do much unless Johnson starts to fall back. He's doing everything he can. He's in 3rd place right now. Johnson's a full 2 seconds ahead of him.
Right now, Kevin Harvick's holding off a much faster car in that number 9 with Aric Almirola.
Almirola's career best finish of 8th was at Bristol back in March of 2008. Right now, he's running fourth, and he wants more.
Yeah, and Harvick's sitting here knowing that he's racing for second right now. He sees Jimmy Johnson up there. He knows that Hamlin's back in the pack. He knows he has a chance to finish second in the points, but he sees Jimmy Johnson gone from him unless something happens to the 48, which we, got to get to the last lap and make sure that nothing does.
Well, he can't give this spot up. As you can see, there's just 1 point separating Hamlin and Harvick.
And Hamlin has moved into the 15th position. He's gotten back around Mark Martin. There you can see where Denny is. But he has got a lot of ground to cover and 9 laps to do it. You're this close to a championship. Came in with a 15-point lead. And right now, it doesn't look like it's going to work for Denny Hamlin unless something happens to that 48 car.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson's just done a masterful job with this race car today. I'm telling you, yesterday, this car wasn't. He was the third of the 3 cars, championship contenders. They made changes on it, and Jimmy's just done a phenomenal job once again of driving this race car, putting it where it needed to go today.
On board with Jimmy. Denny Hamlin, he's got his hands full right now with the 21 of Bill Elliott. That is for position on the racetrack. If he can take it, and he gets back in front, he moves to second in the points, as you see. But second, as they always say, is like kissing your sister, and he wants first. He has made it his mantra. He wants to be the man to dethrone Jimmy Johnson.
Well, if he can't get into second, if something should happen to the 48 here late, then he won't win the championship. The 29 would. So he has to continue to try to move forward.
The laps continue to wind down. 6 to go next time by. Let's listen to Kevin Harvick's radio. He is running third.
We have that 11 in the points right now, Gil. 1 point. All right, 33, 2 ahead of him. Message delivered.
And obviously that was just a little bit before Denny picked up that last position to move him ahead of Kevin. It's right now 39-41. So now you've got Clint Bowyer right ahead of Denny Hamlin, and Boyer's not going to make it easy. Meanwhile, the guy who's had maybe the easiest day is Carl Edwards. He has led 184 laps. He led 157 of the 267 when he won here back in 2008. 5 laps to go.
5
the
to
magic
go.
of 5 keeps ringing in Jimmy Johnson's ears with 5 to go. And who else has won 5 straight? Well, the Yankees, among many. The Canadians, the Celtics. John Force won a total of 10 straight. Michael Schumacher did it in Formula One. Jimmy has 4. Pretty elite company.
Yeah, you got that right. And just nobody could see that this was going to happen in this sport. Just not with the level of competition, such a long season. Just can't imagine that this would take place. Well, let's give Jimmy Johnson the credit that he deserves. I think a lot of times too many people just look at the organization around him, and Jimmy's not getting enough credit as the driver, but he drove this car. He willed this thing to that second place today.
He certainly did, because the pit stops have not been what they needed to be compared to what they were, the last time we saw this crew in Phoenix. Chad Knaus looking pretty comfortable right now. 3 laps remaining to the championship. He's got 1.6 seconds ahead of him is Carl Edwards. He's not even worried about that. Harvick is about 2 seconds behind.
I'll tell you what, there were a lot of us that were skeptics and wondering whether they could pull this off or not here. I think they've certainly answered all of those questions.
He's going to be 2 laps away from making history again. Down through turn 2, heading down the backstretch. The race well in hand for Jimmy Johnson. The race leader right in front of him there, the 99 of Carl Edwards. What a day for Edwards. He's going to come up on the white flag lap. There it is, just one more circuit.
He won a good lap.
Nothing any of these guys can do. That hammering you hear is the sound of the nail of the final coffin on the Chase contenders' hopes of upsetting Jimmie Johnson.
Got a lot of champagne. Half a lap, bud.
Carl Edwards is going to win the race, but coming through turns 3 and 4. The championship is going to go to Jimmie Johnson, and if you don't think he's going to be one of the greatest, think
You're
again.
looking at the 5-time champion.
You're looking at him.
Boy. Unbelievable! Yeah! Woo! Remember, you promised to burn them tires off.
You guys are the best. I cannot believe we did this. Unbelievable.
Yes, it did. Your team won, Chad. Kevin Harvick finishes third.
Jimmy,
And
you
for
are a
Mike
rock star,
Ford,
my friend. You
driver finished
have
14th.
proven it time and time again, and you damn did it today, my friend. You guys are the best, man.
The disappointment for Harvick etched underneath that helmet. We almost had a collision on the front straightaway. Carl with the backflip. He wins 2 in a row. He's done it now 5 times in his Cup career. And while Jimmy celebrates by burning the tires, Carl's going back up into the stands again. And let's think ahead to next year just a little bit. Remember this race last year? This was the springboard for Denny Hamlin's hopes for a championship. And of course, he does finish 4th in the championship behind Kevin Harvick. And the disappointment of Denny Hamlin and Harvick. And the celebration for the 48.
That's just an unbelievable race team that Rick Hendrick has put together there. Putting Chad Knaus and Jimmie Johnson together. Ron Malik, the car chief on the car. Just tremendous team effort.
Rick Hendrick Motorsports, their 10th Sprint Cup Driver Championship, the most all-time, one more than Petty Enterprises. Jimmy finishes the season with 9 straight top 10 finishes. And Denny climbs out of the car, knowing he's going to be asked 100 questions that he doesn't want to answer. Let's send it down to Dave Burns.
Well, Chad Knaus getting lots of hugs and congrats down here, talking to front tire changer Clay Robinson, one of the guys who came on to fill in and help this 48 team to their championship. Let's start there. The big move at Texas. How about the pit crew today? Some struggles, but they got you here.
It's a lot of pressure, man. It is, you know, and those guys did a heck of a job. I couldn't be prouder of everybody at Hendrick Motorsports. This was definitely a team effort to win the championship this year. It took all of us, took everybody at HMS and everybody in the 248 shop. You know, I can't thank just everybody enough for all the extra effort and hard work that they put into it. Steve Letarte is a great teammate, and Alan Gustafson and Lance McGrew, they put us ahead of everybody this week to really make sure that we brought the best piece here we possibly could. And it was a really good race car. I couldn't say enough about how Jimmy did. You know, I think finally, after being able to pull this off, that he'll get the rewards and the respect that he needs.
You're more emotional than I've seen you at this time in the last 4 years. What are you thinking?
It was awesome. You know, I'm a competitor. I love to compete, and knowing what we had to do and how we had to come down here and beat them, and we beat them.
They beat him good. His driver drove from 6th to 2nd on 2 stops ago, that run when he had, so he showed him what he had, and the crew put a great car underneath him. Now to the other side of the emotions, let's go to Jamie.
That's right, the agony of defeat. Denny Hamlin, what a day. And it started off early with that spin. Take us through what you're feeling right now.
Well, obviously I'm disappointed. You know, our car just wasn't the same. Our car was lightning fast up until that wreck. And when we hit the 16, it just knocked the toe out. and the car just didn't drive the same for the rest of the day. And we did our best to try to repair it, but it just wasn't as fast as it was before. So, product of bad qualifying, but we're right around the top 10 when that happened. So it's just circumstances. But we had a great year. This is a year where we won the most races that we've ever won. We contended like we've never contended before. And just circumstances took us out on this last one.
I know there's been a lot of talk about the 29, the 48, and the 11. If you can sit back and look at the 48, who you're competing with, they're a dynasty. Can you put into words what that team is like and what it was like pushing him to beat him this year?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think that they showed the strength this year to what they had in years past, and that opened up the door for teams like myself and a few other teams to win a lot of races. And not only that, we really stepped up our program over these last couple of years, and obviously with all the wins that we've had, it's a good feeling to go to the racetrack and know you can win on any given week. But my job is to work in the off season to do everything I can to be better, and I know every year that I am in the Cup Series, I'm going to be better than I was the previous year. So we're going to take this FedEx team, we're going to keep working, and go get them next year.
What a year it was for Denny Hamlin. 8 wins, brings it home second in the championship. Vince?
Kevin Harvick gave it one heck of a run today, finishes third, doesn't get that championship like you desired, but how would you put in perspective the day you had today?
I mean, we went down swinging, and that's what we came here to do, was to go as fast as we could and do everything we had to do to try to win. Those guys just outran us at that last restart there by just a little bit at the beginning, and then it would taper off and we'd come back to being a little bit better. But all in all, I'm just proud of all my guys, proud of all the guys. I want to say hey to Big Mike back at RCR, proud of everybody at RCR and everything they've done from last year to this year. And we did everything we wanted to do today except win the race. So just really thankful for all the fans and all the support that we've seen over the last several weeks. And this is a great spot to start building for consistent championship runs going forward.
Without the pit road speeding penalty, do you think you had a car capable of winning the race?
I mean, it's hard to tell. The 99 was pretty good on the restarts, and that was probably our weak points. We had a top 3 car, and how it all shook out, I don't know. But they seem to get biased on the restarts there. But all in all, it was a good day, and what can you do?
What was your take on the incident with Kyle Busch?
He raced me like a clown all day, driving all over me, run all over my back bumper, and cut in front of me, and I didn't lift.
Congratulations on a great season.
Thank you.
Kevin Harvick.
Well, you got it straight from the horse's mouth. We made the observation he didn't lift, and there was contact between these two earlier in the race, and he said he's not going to take any quarter. Well, and let's also give the credit to the man who won the race, because he certainly deserves it. Doc, let's get Carl out of there.
On a Ford championship weekend, there is a Ford in victory lane, and Jack Roush now his 11th win as an owner at Homestead Miami Speedway. And now here he comes, Carl Edwards, climbing out of the car and standing up to celebrate. Oh my gosh. Big smile on Carl Edwards' face, and Carl, second consecutive weekend. You dominate the day. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. This is unreal. It's a great way to finish the season. Congratulations to Jimmy Johnson. 5 championships in a row. It's unreal. I think the way we're going here, if we can start like this, our Aflac team could have a shot at him next year. So I just got to thank Scott's for the great lawn products, Aflac for, I think I hurt my foot doing that backflip, so that's a good time to do it, and I've got Aflac coverage, so that's good. John Forrest was here, gave me a little motivation on those restarts, and just so proud for Ford, for Aflac, for Scott's, for Vitamin Water, Kellogg's, Valvoline, just everybody that's been behind us all year. To finish like this is unreal.
Carl, help us out here now. How is it you go 70 races without a win, and then you go back-to-back, not only winning the race, but dominating? What turned it around?
It's just these guys not giving up. We don't give up. My guys are unreal, and we just had a just unbelievable run towards the end of this season. And I'm truly blessed. I'm so excited. Last week, my wife and my daughter weren't here, and today they are, so I'll get to victory lane photos with them. And it's just a great way to end the season. I can't wait to go to Vegas. I can't wait to go home to Columbia, Missouri, and I'm kind of hungry. I'm going to go get a Subway sandwich and go celebrate with my guys. This is unreal.
All right, Carl Edwards, you heard the prediction possibly. Carl said, maybe I can be the guy that wins a championship next year as he goes up and gets to celebrate with the guys.
Well, and as he congratulates his crew on a very fine performance today, of course, a lot of the attention on Jimmie Johnson. Think about this. He has won his 5th Sprint Cup championship in 327 starts. It took Dale Earnhardt 390. Richard Petty, 655. You're looking at one of the all-time greats. Let's talk to his car owner, Dave.
And Marty, I'm thinking this is pretty appropriate. Rick has stepped up here. It's like you've gone to another level. And I would say with 5, that's pretty adequate. You've got so many hugs down here, you begin to think of the words to put this one in perspective.
I mean, I had no idea. This race has been so up and down all day long. Denny had a problem, and Denny came back. Then we had a problem, and then Kevin had a problem, and it was like who's gonna screw up the most? It's like I'm really proud of these guys. It's so hard to win one of these deals, and for Jimmy and that team to do it at Lowe's 5 times in a row, it's just unbelievable, and that gives us 10 of these things. And I mean, it's just I'm out of gas. I don't know what to say. It's just this has been one of the hardest fought championships I can ever remember. We lost one in 04 by 8 points, and I feel for Denny and Kevin because they both ran well and all year long, and somebody's got to win it, and I'm glad it's us.
All right. Remember earlier this week, Rick said he'd be surprised if it wasn't decided until the last lap. It was close to that. Yeah. It was a busy day, Jamie.
And Coach Gibbs, the owner of the 11 team who brings it home second today. And Coach, you've won multiple Super Bowls. You've been in a lot of situations. What was it like today watching Denny go for his first championship?
This is obviously a huge disappointment. I think our guys, though, everybody, I was proud of them and fought their guts out. Denny, even at the end there, fighting his way all the way back to wind up second. It was a huge deal for us. And then I think everybody here will hopefully handle this the right way. We realize that it was hard fought all year. Congratulations to the 48 and the guys for winning the championship. But really proud of FedEx and Toyota, our big partners here. And I'm proud of our team. They fought hard all year.
What difference did you see in your driver, Denny Hamlin? He's been with your team since he's been in the Sprint Cup Series. What difference this year? What made them so good? 8 wins this year.
Yeah, I just think I think it's a maturing process. He and Mike have an unusual feeling for each other. That's great. Our team here is very solid. Our pit crew. In pro sports, you can't win if you're missing something. Pit crew, crew chief, whatever. And I feel like we think they proved that this year. And of course, Denny's maturing. He's still young. So hopefully we got a lot of good years in front of us.
And they can't do it without a great leader. Congratulations. Great season for Joe Gibbs and this 11 team.
And let me bring the two of you in. Give me the driver's perspective on how Denny builds on this, and then from the crew chief side.
Well, he'll gather. He'll go back and look at this, and he took what he learned last year in being in the chase and learned from that, got himself in a position to win. Tremendous talent right here, and he'll go forward and he'll be a better driver and person through all of this.
Yeah, Mike Ford's going to go back and use this. This is an experience. To lose one of these things and to be in this fight and all this pressure, it's an experience that he'll carry with him now to go win one. They've got great race cars. They don't need to do anything when they go back home. They just need to keep doing what they've been doing and take this experience and try to build on it next year to win it.
Well, let's get ready as the champion is making his way towards the victory podium. And Jimmie Johnson with the flag. And remember the flag here at Miami, at the Homestead Miami Speedway? It'll have his name on it for the 5th year in a row. All right, let's send it to Alan Bestwick, who's going to host the ceremonies and the presentation. Alan, it's all yours.
Marty, last year, Jimmie Johnson did a sideways burnout right up into this area where the stage is set up and the photographers are gathered and so on. And hey, who could blame him for taking all the time he wants to do burnouts out there on the front straightaway? What a day. What a hard-fought championship and a hard-fought victory for Johnson and this team. Chad Knaus just came into the area where Jimmy will come up in a moment from now. Huge smile on his face, and here comes the champion for a 5th straight year. His team all gathered up on the stage. Chad meeting him down the track a little bit for some congratulations. And he rolls in to the area for the victory celebration. I can assure you he is ready to get out. Tony Stewart here to congratulate him. All the sponsorship things are fixed and ready. And I'm sure this moment with Tony will be the first of many drivers to come and congratulate Jimmy. Certainly has the respect of his peers, his fellow drivers. His wife Shani, their new baby daughter, just walking in as well, coming from behind the camera. There they are. Some things new in Jimmie Johnson's life this year, having to come from behind in a championship and being a daddy for the first time. Ladies and gentlemen, for the 5th year in a row, the champion, Jimmie Johnson. Well, champ, welcome back. I don't know that in any of the previous 4 we heard you yell on the radio after it ended like we just did a couple of minutes ago. Your thoughts on winning a 5th consecutive title?
I am just so proud to be in this position and so thankful to have my great race team and everybody at Hendrick Motorsports giving me great race cars. I think this year we showed what this team was made of. At times we didn't have the most speed, but we had the most heart, and we proved it here through the end of the chase and especially here today. I am just beside myself. I can't believe this. 4 was amazing. Now I got to figure out what the hell to say about winning 5 of these things. Everybody's going to want to know what it means. I don't know. It's pretty damn awesome, I can tell you that.
There you go. Now, I want to back up and just take you through your day. You started up front, the other guys behind you. One of your competitors, your prime rival for the title, had troubles early. Then he came and got ahead of you on the racetrack, and for a while you were trailing in this thing once again before rallying toward the end. Take us through your day, how much of all this you knew, and what the emotions were inside the car.
We really didn't talk about much on the radio, but I could see in the mirror where the guys were, where Kevin was, and where the 11 was. And when he got in front of me and it was up there, 2 spots in front of me, I thought, man, it's going to be tough now. And I expected them to be there, but we had a restart or 2, and we went forward and they went backwards, and off it went. And Chad made some great adjustments on the car, and we're up there chasing Carl around and put in a great finish in second.
The point in the race where you came off of pit road and you got up to second, and then things were sort of going your way. Was there at any point you just said, okay, I'm good right here and I'm going to ride this out, or were you just after it all the way to the finish?
I was after it pretty hard. Chad told me about 10 to go to make sure that we were smart and saving our tires in case there was a green-white checkered. And I definitely backed off a little bit at the end. I don't think I had anything for the 99, but this Lowe's Chevrolet was awesome when it was up front and had some clean air. And we knew if we ever got up there that we would stay there, and it really worked out that way in the end. So just an amazing day for the team, as I mentioned earlier. I have to thank all of my fans, all of the employees at Lowe's, and everybody at Lowe's. I can hear you guys up there. That's right. The fans of our sport. I mean, people that might not be a 48 fan, I think you saw something special today, and we've got an awesome sport, and I'm so proud to represent it as our champion again.
The way it started at New Hampshire, the things that happened at Texas, at any point in these 10 weeks, doubts at all that you could be here right now?
Yeah, there was at times. I mean, I'm human. I don't think that we're invincible, and I knew coming into this that at some point somebody's going to beat us. And the 11 car did an awesome job all chase long, and the 29 for that matter. So I knew there was a good chance, but I knew if I left this season and I gave it 100%, and so did my team, we could sleep at night. And we're going to sleep. I don't know if we're going to sleep tonight, but we're going to sleep sometime soon. It's going to hurt, but we made it through, and we gave 100% every race and showed what teamwork was all about with this Hendrick Motorsports car.
Congratulations again. In just a couple of minutes, we'll be up on stage and you'll receive the Sprint Cup trophy for a 5th straight year.
Awesome. I can't wait. This is amazing. Thank you, fans. You guys make this all possible.
Jimmie Johnson, the champion for a 5th consecutive year. He came from behind this time to do it. And he claims the Cup today with a second-place finish in the final race of the season at Homestead Miami Speedway. The trophy presentation coming up on stage in just a couple of minutes. What a spectacular season finale it was here in South Florida as Johnson scores a second-place finish. Carl Edwards rolls to the win.
Trouble, and it involves Hamlin. The very thing he did not want to see happen.
Everybody breathe.
Having a little trouble getting the left rear off and on. It'll be a slow stop for the 48.
My guys, CR2's in there. Need your bat.
Kevin Harvick, too fast entering pit road.
What? No way. We were too fast entering.
This is literally going down to the last lap. Anything is we can happen.
Get out of the race car, bud. Get out of the car.
You are looking at the 5-time champion.